We're live.
He's now.
3, 2,
There we go.
Yeah.
And action.
Good action.
We can watch you pour your cider mugs in.
Yeah. Got to do that first.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope they got their. I hope everybody's got the beers on.
That's it.
Is
The tipple. What's yours, Jay?
happy.
John's first.
Well, I like what I know, and I know what I like.
The hard stuff. The hard stuff.
Just for a change.
What's your
John's
tipple,
first.
Ross? The usual.
Well, I've got a doubler tonight, mate. So I'm on the Bud Light and then I'm on the Glenfiddich after that. So.
Oh, hey. What's that? 15-year-old. Nice.
Mate, so I'm on the Bud Light and then I'm on the Glenfiddich after that. So.
Oh, hey. Very nice.
Yeah. So
Nice, guys.
Yeah.
that's the plan for tonight, mate.
We all know what goes with cider, don't we, Steve?
What's that?
Well, in England, it's sausage and cider, isn't it?
Well.
Sausage and cider.
Yeah,
I've not-
sausage. Yeah,
I've not got any sausages today, mate. So we'll have to, I'll just stick to the cider today. So
It's the cider.
That's it, mate. That's it. So let's
Adam. Evening.
let's use joined us. Neil's joined us.
Hello, everyone.
Bravo 20. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah, evening, Adam.
Adam, evening, mate. Yeah.
Nice one.
Neil's Reef. He's joined us.
Yes. Hi,
Right
Neil.
for me. That's it.
Neil's on
Hey.
this side. Up.
Yeah.
How's your week been, Neil? Steady away, or has it been stressed?
Colette's just joined the house.
Yeah. Well, how is she doing it? She's Colette who?
Colette Marine Tank.
She's on a quiz.
I think she cancelled. Did it cancel?
Yeah, they did.
Cancelled today.
Oh, hi, Colette. You all right? It's good to see you. Maybe because it was what's that?
NB Reefing is in there as
Who's
well.
in?
NB Reefing.
NB. Here,
NB.
What's this? Here, where is it? Mate, look at that.
That's the proper stuff, Jay.
For the Scots. NB.
That's for Ross, isn't it?
Scott. It's a Scot, Ross.
Yeah, that's the proper stuff you're on, Jay. That'll put hairs on your chest.
Right, we had a chat
guys.
over Instagram, and he still drinks this, but I haven't drank it for years, like since I was a kid. So I bought a bottle just for to test it out again.
UKM's just saying now, UKM 120, he's just saying he's opened a can of Bud, so that's fantastic.
That's a shame.
So guys, get straight onto it. How's the aquarium's been going
What's
this
that?
week? How's your aquarium's been going? Any ups and downs or mistakes or you made anything like that?
So I've had a few problems with the ClariSea 3000. The float switch keeps on getting stuck. So I've had to strip it down, clean it up, and now it's good as gold. I must admit, I love the ClariSea 3000. Really good piece of kit. In fact, if you haven't got enough fish, it could take too much out in terms of nutrients. But it beats the hell out of filter socks. So I got filter socks on the Reef for 450, and I have to change those twice a week. Yeah, but having the ClariSea is like a dream compared to that.
What was wrong with it, Paul? What was wrong with it?
It was just purely the float switch just wouldn't, because it's automatic, and obviously as the water rises, the float switch goes up and the roller goes round.
That's right.
And for whatever reason, it was just clogged up. So I just took it out, cleaned it down. It was full of crap, and then put it back, and it's fine. So touch wood, it'll be all right now. But it's one of the best bits of kit. Once you get it, you realise how good it is, and it keeps the water nice and clean and everything else.
I love my ClariSea. It's a top piece of kit. When I do my maintenance, my pumps, I take it out. So every maybe 3-4 months, I take the ClariSea out, and I just basically do a routine clean on that as well. Get it under the tap, scrub it all, get all the vermitis, snails, and get all the stuff off it, clean everything, the sensors, and it seems to be okay. You know what I mean? I just incorporate it into my monthly maintenance, my bi-quarterly maintenance, and it seems fine. But
the only problem is when you turn the when it runs out of the filter, itself or the floss. Unless you take it out, it's a bit of a pain to change. That's the only thing. So you can't. You've got to be able to get to it pretty easy. So it just sits behind the skimmer in there. So once you get used to it and you change it once or twice, it's great. I would recommend it.
Backshift Reefers just put down that he's just fixed his ClariSea SK5000. The controller randomly broke. Never heard of that. What actually happened with that, mate?
Expensive toilet roll. That's exactly what it looks like, though, doesn't it?
Well, it is.
Well, that's what it is. Yeah.
Is it just removing nitrates, or does it remove phosphates as well?
It removes any free floating particles. So your food, it goes down your overflow, your waste, fish poo, anything that goes down the overflow, it gets trapped in it. You see. Yeah.
So I take it you use that as your first stage. Then that's your main first stage filtration.
Yeah. So down the sump, so down the back, overflow down into it, goes straight into that, and just mops it all up.
Yeah. I mean, you're supposed to plumb it into your actual drain. Yeah. But I have heard that other guys who just freestand it, and basically so they don't actually plumb it into the system. They just have the drain, and then when it goes through, because what will happen is as the water rises, it gets dirty, the socks, the water rises in the chamber, and then it turns the roll, and then the roll just obviously, and then it just moves around. But for me, you've just got to get it. You've got to get it plumbed in. You know what I mean?
So what's your sequence, Paul? Then, so you got your ClariSea first. Is that your first line?
Yes, it's not this one. It's on the DD Reef Pro 900. So you got the downpipe. Yeah. Goes straight into that. So that's in the first chamber. Also in the first chamber, I've got a Deltec 400 skimmer. So that's in the first chamber. Then it goes into a middle chamber. And I'm just setting up a Cheeto, but I'm struggling with that. It's not really growing that much so I think the ClariSea's taking a lot out of it. And then after you go for the second, you go to the back chamber where you've got the return pump, and that's it. So I could probably do without the Cheeto and just have a really simple setup of just that and the skimmer, and that's it. Because I've only got 5 fish in the in a 280 litre tank, and I've deliberately not got not many fish in there. I've got a pair of clowns and 3 wrasse. And I'm happy with that. It just creates enough fish poo to feed the coral within the tank, and that's about it. So it works pretty well. Yeah,
it does. To be truthful, when I first put it in, I was having nitrates of about 6. Really, it wasn't high, but I was having 6, and then I plumbed it in, and obviously running my skimmer as well at the same time. And after it was out after a week. I tested my nitrates. And they were coming in at 0. There was no nitrates in the tank whatsoever. That was 1 week. It's totally stripped the tank. And you could see straight away, like the corals have curled up. Like we talk about the Duncans, there was the Duncans wasn't even flowing. They were all like curled up. And I was like, what the hell's going on? I couldn't believe it. So what I did was I switched my skimmer off then. And I only switched my skimmer on for twice a week, 2 times, And I just basically let the roller filter do its business. And then I've seen it move up then, to 2, 3, 4 parts per million. And then when it was going a little bit higher, I switched my skimmer back on, and then that took it. So it balanced it out now. So my skimmer's only on 3 days a week, and then the rest is just by the ClariSea. You know what I mean? That way it keeps the nitrates about 2 to 5, and it's good.
Do you get much in the skimmer cup at that though?
Sorry, Ross.
Yeah.
No, sorry. Do you get much in the skimmer cup when you run it a couple of times a week, or is it not really?
You know what? Before I put the ClariSea in, I was cleaning the skimmer cup maybe once every 4 days, 4 to 5 days. Now I don't change it at least maybe 10 days, 2 weeks sometimes. I never change it, never, because it takes the majority of it. The ClariSea takes the majority of the stuff out. So it's a really good bit of kit. It's definitely, like Paul said, one of the best pieces of kit you can get, especially if you've got some, no doubt.
Won't fit in my stuff, mate.
No, so Jay,
Can you hang on the back, ClariSea?
Yeah.
It does hang, but not outside the tank. In terms of it depends on the speed of it goes depending on how much crap it's pulling out. Because it's automatic, you can just hear it every so often, just move a few millimeters.
Yeah.
So you can control the speed. What's the running cost for that then? How often do you have to change the rolls out and stuff?
I change mine every, I think it's 2 to 3 months because I haven't got much of a bioload. And the new rolls are, I bought one the other day, $14.99. So that is pretty good. So you're talking 15 quid. And it lasts me 3 months or so. When you put the first, I've seen people that set it up when their tank's been running 6-12 months. Yeah. And they go for a roll really quick. Some people in 2 to 3 weeks because you've got a load of rubbish in your tank and it just pulls it out and cleans it out. And after that, it really depends on the bioload that you've got within the tank. But I haven't got much, so I'm happy with that 3 months or so. It works pretty well.
I'll tell you one thing though, Paul, I don't know whether you can actually tell me, you know, when it's actually finished, it's come to the end of the roll, Yeah. I've gone on a couple of channels, you know, a couple of YouTubers, to see how to take the roll off. And for the love of money, I cannot get it off. So I'm forever there in a big bucket and I'm rolling it out like that by hand. I can't get it off for some reason. I'm fitting it on, you know, with the actual white sleeve that the waist one goes onto, It's so stiff, I can't push it off. Do you know what I mean? I can't get it off it. So I'm having to manually roll it off, and it absolutely stinks the house out for 2 days, mate.
Get some.
Paul, I think you're going to need to show him.
Anybody out there know how to get it off
properly? Something with a bit of Vaseline.
I know I was going to say that, whether they need to put some Vaseline.
So, Jay, you're on the wrong channel.
Or lubrication on it. That's what I need. I think I might need to put some lube on it, mate. That's it, definitely. I definitely need to put some on it because it won't come off. It won't slide off it. So, with Bravo 20's just asked Jay and Beardy, when are you getting bigger tanks? This is the $1 million question.
So I think mine will be later on this year, maybe the turn of the year, I would imagine. I want to make sure I can do everything right with this tank first, so I want to experience all the problems I'm going to have so that I know going forward when it gets to the big tank what I'm going to do. Obviously, this is my first tank, so I want to take things kind of slowly and make sure that I know what I'm doing first before I jump into a big tank. I know the big tank should be slightly easier to do due to the fact that there's more water volume, but I still want to be able to do everything first. So hopefully by the end of the year, if not start of next year, then I'll be getting the big peninsula and that'll be me from there.
And what are you planning on? What is your ideas of tank, Ross? Are you thinking of going custom, or are you thinking of going like just the normal manufacturers like ClariSea and so forth?
So before I was dead set on getting the water box peninsula, but the more I look at it, I think I'm going to go down the custom road because I can get, you know, the same kind of size of tank, but a much higher spec and what I want for the sump laid out the way I want. So I think that's the way I'm going to go, is down the custom route. I'm not 100% decided yet, but that's probably the way I'm looking at.
Yeah. Jake?
I mean, I'm the same as Ross. I just started with a nano because I'm an absolute beginner. I knew nothing about reefing about 6 months ago. And I think a nano is a good place to start because you can hone your art, you can hone the craft, you can learn about the nitrogen cycle, you can learn about cycling, and then you just start to build up, don't you? But when my corals have grown out, I'll be back at Santander Bank and saying, can you I want to buy a massive tank.
And And you know the funny thing though, Jay, is like years ago, people, especially like LFS shops, they used to persuade you not to buy a smaller tank. You know what I mean? They used to say, or leave it to the more, you know, to the professionals, or leave it to the more advanced aquarists. You know what I mean?
Right,
because you've got smaller water volume, so more things. If something goes wrong, you've only got a minimal time to get it sorted. But I think with the quality of equipment what we get now, you know what I mean, and the stuff, I think it could be for anybody. So anybody wanted to get into the hobby, do like you and Ross have done, get a smaller tank, and then if you love it, move on and get bigger, because we all know
another thing as well. You don't know if you're going to enjoy it. It's first experience. So you start small, and I think that's the right way to do it, to build up big. But I really like that new. Is it the water box? What's it called? That new range, like extreme.
Oh, is it the Peninsula one? The Peninsula one?
There's a different range where it comes with own control box, doesn't it? Where you got a professional control. I can't remember if it's right at the end or on the side.
It's cool,
and it looks really, really good and quite big. It's real sturdy tanks.
The Marine X, is it? Is that what it's called?
They're only in America at the moment, aren't they? I saw the advert for it the other day. So they're in the US at the moment. I mean, they're quite expensive, but they look pretty good. They've got proper aluminium or metal, whatever it is, stands, and it comes with quite a bit of kit as well. So it looks really good. It looks a step up from Red Sea and the existing water box, but that's deliberate. It goes with the price point, I think, by the looks of it.
So that one about 300 litre, but the water box one. Really fancy that.
I mean, what would you say is the ideal reef tank, like size wise? What would you go for I mean, obviously it depends on the size of your house, you know what I mean, and the living room, or the space it's going in.
Optimum size.
But like manageable size, what would you say? Would you go for? Would you think? What you think you could cope with? Because I think I could cope with something bigger than mine. I think maybe something like a 525 or maybe a 6, something like a 600 or something like that. I think that would be my maximum. I don't think I could go any more than that.
Right. I think there's a fine line between obviously what looks a nice tank, what's a big tank, but also the maintenance side of it. I mean, if you're doing water changes, if you're mixing up salt and so on, you don't want to be doing that for hundreds of litres. So you need to try and keep it, kind of sensible that you can still maintain it every week without being a full day's work. I think that's the big thing.
So this one I've got here is the Reef of 450. The difference between this and the 525. The 525 is wider back to front. I think the 25 is about 2 foot front to back, and this is about 50 centimeters. So there's not much difference here, but that's the difference in the two. This one was hard work for the first 12 months because I did religiously 10% every week, doing the checks and everything else. After 12 months, I do hardly any water changes. So not having to do 45, 50 litres a week of water changes is a big save, and there's not so many spillages on the floor. All that kind of stuff. Because I dose the key elements, and then I use NoPox. I'm taking crap out and putting goodness back in, so to speak. So I don't need to do water changes. So Ross, that helps. I think that's probably a decent size to have. The only thing is you have a problem, you end up having to do 20, 30% water changes. It starts adding up. But touch wood, it's been pretty good, even though it's 5.5 years old. I haven't had many problems with it because I don't make many changes. All the changes I make are quite small, and I make sure I've got controller on it and stuff like that. So that's a decent size. I've got the 280 litre in the garage. That's a 3 foot tank. That's a decent size. That's the DD Pro. So either one of those. I think the 450 is probably easier to look after than the 280 litre. So I would go with something like that. Ross would be a decent size if you got the room.
Yeah. What I was going to say then, I'm just nipping on to this, just going back to this thing by Jambo. Yeah, he put a question. I did see it actually. He thought it was, if I correct me if I'm wrong, Jambo. Yeah, he thought he had diatoms, but he said it turns out that cyano and nutrients are not balanced. NO3 is 1. Is that NO3 is 1?
Yeah.
And PO4 is 0.05. Well, NO3 that's not. I mean, it's slightly. It's slightly low, but I wouldn't be too concerned about that. You know what I mean? To be truthful, and PO4 is what I run my tank at anyway, between 0.03 and 0.07. So that to me is bang on. And I get cyano in my tank, but I get it where there's low flow. You know, where there's very little flow, and that it's really only in those spots. It's like dead spots basically where it grows. You know what I mean? It doesn't grow on the rock. It doesn't grow anything. And all I do is I just get the wave maker, give it a bit of a blast out, blast it, and aim it towards the overflow, and just get it down the overflow, and it stays away for about a week. It comes back because there's no flow there, in the spots. It's just dead spots. So
Also, how long's the tank, Jambo? How long's the tank been running? So, how long's the tank been running, Jambo? Because that can have an impact as well. If it's a new tank, you can end up with cyano, diatoms, and you'll get all kinds of algae and bacteria in that first 12 months. So, be interested to put in the chat how long has it been running?
Yeah, that would be good to know. Yeah.
Sorry, Jay, you was going to say.
No, you can, but you can dose nitrates, can't you, if you want to?
Of course, yeah.
Prestige Reef, he was having a problem with his frag tank having low nitrate. He started to dose nitrate, which I know it sounds weird because many reefers have the opposite problem, but you can actually dose nitrates. So I don't know if that's something you could look into. He needs to up it a little bit.
Yeah.
That should help him.
Nitrates, it's crazy how some people suffer with high nitrates and they're pulling their hair out. You won't believe it. I had a full head of hair, believe it or not. But yet people actually buy product to put your nitrate up. It's crazy, you know what I mean? But absolutely, Jay. You could definitely dose nitrates, and I did watch the Prestige one in his.
Something you could look at, isn't it? That?
Yeah, it's something to So get over and check Prestige Reef out.
Shift Reef, he's got the best zoa garden on Instagram. This lad.
Yeah, stunning.
Until Ross's grows out.
Yeah, mine's won't be a patch on that, mate. Not a patch.
Neil said his is a 250. Yeah, Neil's tank's coming on really well now. Actually, I've watched his last update. His last update's coming. He's doing really well with it all. You know what I mean?
Needs some new lights, doesn't he?
Well, yeah. Neil, what lights is he running now? Is it the Proton ones or something like that? Those lights, or what are they? Those lights, Neil?
I think they're off the bike. They're like a bicycle or something. I think
the front and back light. They flash.
Yeah, they flash. Yeah.
I wasn't sure if they were flashing in his video or if it was just the camera adjusting, but they definitely looked like they were going up and down all the time.
Picked them up from Alfred's and just hung them over the tank.
DC Reefing's put, can you tell us a little bit about NoPox works and how much you dose, etc.? Well, this is we could have a whole debate on this whether NoPox works. But Paul, do you know? I've only used it a little bit, so I'm not 100% to be truthful.
So that tank from day one has been running NoPox.
Right.
Now, the reason why I was running it from day one is that I transferred the tank. I bought it secondhand from Derby, brought all the way back down to Essex, and I started off and I had 3 tangs. So I had a Regal, Vampire, and a Yellow Tang from day one in that particular tank. So you had quite a bit of bioload in there. You do need a level of both nitrate and phosphate in the tank for it to work. I would start off with a small dose. So I actually started off with 1 milliliter a day, and then it went up to 13 milliliters a day because I had tangs. I then moved on the Vampire and the Regal tanks. They were too big for the tank, and I went straight back down to 6 milliliters. So the key is you need to start off with a level of nitrates and phosphate. So if you had, I don't know, something like 15, 20 in kind of nitrates, and if it was a 0.1 or something like that, you need a higher level. Not always, but a level will help, because what it happens is you dose a NoPox, and I don't know the science behind it, but it binds to the nitrate and the phosphate binds to the NoPox, and then you need a good skimmer, and you need to dose. You need to run the skimmer wet because it pulls it out. So the skimmer I've got on this is the NIOS 160, which can be up to about 1,000 litres. So it's too big. So it's got 1,000 litre skimmer and a 450 litre tank. And if you skim wet, and it will pull it out. But what I would do is keep it a small amount and then build it up. As the bioload goes up, make sure you're testing every week, and just go from there. What you do find is that it's better pulling out nitrate than it is phosphate. If I overfeed the tank and get a bit overzealous with the feeding, sometimes the phosphate doesn't come down as well as the nitrate. I don't change the NoPox. Probably every 3 to 4 months, I end up putting a reactor in there and run rower for about 2 to 3 weeks, and that brings it back into balance. But it's usually only after I've overfed the tank that I get I get a problem. And that's how I run it. If you've got low nitrates and phosphate, it doesn't always work. Also, it can take 3, 4, 5 weeks for it to make a difference. What I found people online do, one, they dose the suggested, recommended, which isn't always the case because it depends on your bioload, and they expect it to work within 3 or 4 days, and it doesn't. It's not a quick fix, I would say. But as 5.5 years later in a mixed reef, and touch wood, it's been as good as gold.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that answers the question.
Definitely a flooded description. Like I said, I mean, I don't think you use NoPox, Jay and Ross, do you? I don't think you use that. No,
I've only ever used Roaphos, but I used that pretty early on.
Yeah.
I've had a phosphate problem, never had a nitrate problem at the moment.
Yeah.
So, Roaphos is the only one I've used.
No, I don't think I've got really a need for it.
No, you don't. I don't think you need to do it. I just decided to set it up with the tank from day one to run it that way because I've got nothing. I mean, as it happens, I've put some max spec bio balls in there, 2 kilograms. That was a little while ago. That's why in a 450 litre tank with 26 fish, I only do 6 millilitres, which is not a lot. I've got 1 tang and the rest are all kind of wrasse, cardinals, amphias, all those kind of fish. So they're quite small fish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
6.
Well, I hope that answered your question. I'm just scrolling through these some of these comments.
So you've never used NoPox on yours, Steve? No.
I did. Well, yeah, I did use NoPox, but then it completely. I wasn't like Paul. I just went with the dose of what they said.
Yeah.
And it basically stripped everything.
Right.
And when I say stripped, it was like there was no trace of anything, no nitrates, no phosphates. And I know people say that's good, for SPS and SPS corals, but it's, in my opinion, it's nonsense because I believe that you need some sort of nitrates, you need some sort of phosphates in the tank to feed it. And it depends also on like if you're putting any any supplements in it, so like reef roids or if you're in the corals, because remember the corals are a living creature, so they need feeding. So if there's nothing in your water column, you start basically starving them to death. So that's why I keep mine at a certain level now. Keep it level, and then I just leave it at that. And if I see it rising or what like nitrates rising or phosphates, then I probably would dose maybe some NoPox or nitrophosphate, aquaforest, something like that. But as of yet, Jay, I don't dose it. No, not yet.
What does everybody run the nitrates at here then?
Yeah, that would be interesting to know.
Fair point.
Go on.
Mine's about five-ish on all three tanks, and then phosphate is about 0.03 or 0.08, and that's why I keep all 3 of them rough, and that's for a mixed reef, and that seems to work pretty fine.
Yeah. So mine sits. I've got my water test results. So my nitrate sits at 5. Has been at that for a couple of weeks now. It was up at 10 before that, but it's down to 5 now. And my phosphate, now I've got the Salifert phosphate kit, which isn't easy to read. But I think it's about the 0.05 mark. That's where it seems to be sitting at from that test kit. So it's been at that for a couple of weeks now. I think it's kind of stable-ish. So I'm happy with that as it is, actually, to be honest.
And how did you get your nitrates from 10 to 5 without dosing like no? But was it just water changes, Ross? Yeah.
So I do a 10% water change. I do a 10-litre water change every week. So I've only got about 50 litres volume in the tank. So you're talking about 20% water change every week. But also I've got a heavy amount of bio balls in there. So I've got 1 kilo of max spec bio balls, which I'm assuming are dragging that down. I mean, it's going to take a while for them to activate properly, but I think that's what's bringing it down to 5 because it was at 10. I've only done water changes, so that's all I can see that it can be, mate. But I'm happy enough with that just now, to be honest. I mean, I've still got the ugly stage going on, but I think I just need to ride that out and get past that. So
listen, we talk about ugly stages, and ugly stages turns up in an aquarium at any time. It's not just an early beginning tank. You know what I mean? It can turn up. Yeah. My Red Sea Reef 170 was 7-8 months old, and then all of a sudden I came down one morning and I had like diatoms all over the rock, and I was like, where the hell have they come from? And but they just burn themselves out, because really, even a year-old tank is a new tank. You know what I mean? It's not a mature tank. It's a new tank. So for me, 1.5, 18 months, 2 years is getting onto like being a mature tank. You know what I mean? And that you shouldn't really see any problems. Other than the ones that you make, you do yourself. But
yeah, I find anything like that, would be algae or dino or cyano, is don't go drastic. So if you start doing big water, this is my opinion, big water changes, you throw a load of chemicals in, you create an imbalance even more. I find you just let it settle and do smaller changes. So if it's kind of green hair algae, if it's a newer tank, I let it just ride out, triggered by the lights. And so I'll start throwing pods in and live food, because that helps to balance it. Absolutely. Small amounts of water change on that, turn down the lights a little bit, turn down the feeding, and it will change over time. Anything you do that's drastic in a tank, most of the times I find that tanks hate it. Big water change, unless you've got a massive problem, a tank will hate it usually. If you've got softies and LPS, they'll recover. SPS don't usually thank you for it.
Yeah. I always say small but often, Paul. Small but often. Yeah. When people say the only time you should ever do a big water change is, in my opinion, just like Paul, is if you have maybe like a rise in like ammonia or nitrates, or you basically, you're medicating the tank, so you're using some sort of like maybe reflux or something like that. Yeah, that's the only time you should really do a big water change, because like Paul says, especially if you've got SPS in your tank, they don't appreciate a big water change. You know what I mean? So small but often is definitely the way to go.
Yeah, I need to do my water change, actually, come to think of it. Right,
Jay, what does your nitrates and so on sit at?
What's that, sorry?
What does your nitrates sit at, Jay?
Yeah, so I use the Hannah checkers. I've never had a problem with nitrates. My nitrates sit about 2 ppm. And they're kind of stable around there as well. Sometimes it drops about 1.8, sometimes slightly above. But phosphate for me swings quite a lot more. So my phosphate ranges between, I've had kind of 0.03 and then up to 0.15, so quite a swing. I measured them yesterday, 0.11 parts per million, so they'd risen up a little bit. So that's why I've got the Roaphos in there. It's the only parameter that kind of swings in my tank. Everything else seems pretty stable. But I don't know where the phosphates are coming from, because my fish food is kind of it says on the tub, it doesn't raise your phosphates, but it's the only thing I put in. It's the only thing that's going in the tank. So apart from sometimes.
Yeah, definitely probably has something to do with your fish food, mate. Definitely.
Yeah, it must be.
Yeah.
But so that's what mine sits at. Yeah, roughly.
Yeah. Neil put down about his lights. He put down that they are the TMC Reef photons. They're those ones that look like should go on a Herbie car. You know the Herbie cars. That used to have
the old Beetle.
The Beetles. Yeah, the little Beetle. Yeah.
To be fair, he's turned his tank right round. His tank looks ace now.
Yeah. You know what? He suffered really, really bad, didn't he? And what? He's turned it around. To be truthful, when I seen it, I thought, oh God, I feel, I really feel sorry for him, and I hope he turns it around, and he has done. You know what I mean? Just perseverance, mate. Just perseverance. That's what it is.
Going back to what Paul said, it takes months to turn the tank round. You can't do it in a week or a few days.
Or overnight.
It takes a long time. I wonder if he's going to breed that jawfish. Get that jawfish breeding, Neil.
That's just because you're wanting one, Jay.
Yeah. He's got my dream fish.
Going back to that comment, there was one on about oxygen and NoPox. Sometimes you find if people overdose NoPox, it can take out the
was it that oxygen.
One? Yeah, that one. So because I'd started with 1 milliliter and then went up and up. I don't know if it does actually strip it out or not, but I've seen stories of it. Whether that's what it's down to the NoPox or not, I don't know. It could be that someone didn't have enough aeration in the tank, enough water flow on the top, breaking up the surface. It could have been that. You just don't know. But I have seen stories of that. But whether that's true or not, or it was just a coincidence. I don't know.
You know what I have heard about that though, to be truthful for you, I've heard about that when people wasn't running a skimmer. You know, when people don't run a skimmer, I've heard that sometimes happens. It strips the oxygen out,
Right.
because I'm sure Red Sea actually say you need to run a good skimmer. You know, a good protein skimmer,
I said earlier on, you need to wet skim.
Yeah.
And you need I think an oversized skimmer. That's why I've got it, to really make it work efficiently. Because if you don't have a skimmer, it doesn't work. And if you have a poor skimmer, it doesn't work. Because the whole point, it pulls the crud out into the skimmer cup. So if you're thinking it's running wet, you got more stuff skimming and coming out. So it's quite, I suppose, logical in that respect. So, but yeah,
you're right. No, it's definitely got something to do with that 100%, mate. Just looking through some of these comments now, just trying to get back on track with them.
Adam's the one who's just starting his new tank. Unfortunately, he's been made redundant. He's the guy that's halfway through the build.
Adam Boyle, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
His build. Yeah, if anybody's got any cheap lights there, Adam, definitely message Adam, or
let's help him out.
Let's all help him out. You know what I mean? I'll see whether what I've got spare. I'm sure I've got a few different things going. You know what I mean? And I'll sort something out. Absolutely, I've got something.
If there's any community that can help out, it's the reefing one. It's absolutely brilliant, the reefing community.
Exactly. Definitely sort some out. Lighting is expensive. Well, that brings me on to another subject that I was going to talk about, actually, and one of them was lighting. About like what the best lighting is, and is there too much of this lighting, and which lighting's the best? Do you mix? I mean, I know in the I say the olden days, but like in the past, there were the people swore by halogen. Is it the halogen and the finger lights? They swore by that. Now they're saying a mixture of LEDs and T5s. That's the best way to go. And that was I was going to go that way, but the missus didn't want the hanging brackets from the roof. You know what I mean? So that's what we got changed, because the ones where it's a hybrid fixture, they've all got to be hung from the roof. So I'd like to know what your opinions are. Do you think that the lighting makes the corals grow quicker, because it's up in the air, really?
I mean, for me,
go on, Jay, you go.
I was going to say, for me as a beginner, I looked for ones that had kind of preset templates, because I really didn't know enough about the hobby to start dialing in UV, blues, whites, whatever. So I actually chose my light, which is the Radion, because it had preset templates. Yeah. And that's just because I didn't know what I was doing. But that's, if I put it on the LPS setting by the Radion, then it's going to grow the LPS, surely. Well, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, Radion are proven, aren't they, mate? You know what I mean? Radion lights, they're proven, aren't they? And they're not cheap. That's the drawback with them. But people still buy them because, like you said, they work. You know what I mean? They grow. It's one of those ones that you can take. So you could take that even on your little tank where you've got that nano tank. Yeah. You could easily put that light on a 170 on a 170 tank, and it'll work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's fail proof. You know what I mean? And then if you buy a 250, you could just all you'd have to buy is another light and then add the light on. So it's a fail proof system. If you buy good quality, you can take it with you. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, how long does the light last? If you buy a decent modern one now, that's probably going to last me 8 years, maybe. I don't know what.
Yeah. So the ones I've got on here, these were second hand, and I must admit, until recently, I bought a load of second hand stuff, and touch wood, they're really good. So Radions here, they're Gen 3s, and they're 5.5 years old on that. So I've always, until recently, bought my Radions that were second hand. And I always got them posted, because if you get them through the post and you pay by PayPal and they're no good, you can return them. So there is a risk when you buy second hand, but you can pick. And my first light was a Gen 2 light, and that grew LPS really, really well. It grew things like Stylo and Satosa well as well, but it did struggle with some of the higher end ones. So if I wanted some lights and it was LPS, I'd go for the Gen 3 on the Radions, and you can pick them up an XR15, probably less than 200 quid.
Yeah.
So that's not. I don't think that's expensive, especially when you look at the newer ones. So it really depends on what you're looking to keep, and are you prepared to go brand new or second hand. But these the Gen 3 ones do really well at growing SPS. I haven't had any problems growing SPS under those. And I mean, Gen 5 are heads and shoulders. I mean, I've got Gen 4s as well on another tank. I've got a Gen 4 and a 170, and that goes really well. And the 4s are a massive step up to the 3s. I haven't got a 5, so I can't comment on how good they are. But the AI lights are pretty good as well, from what I've heard.
Yeah, so I mean, it's an AI light that I use, Paul. And the reason I went with AI was actually just because every single time that I'd done my research on, I had decided I was either going to go for the Fluval, I think it's the Fluval Evo tank or the water box. So I was doing my research on both of them, and I personally didn't like the light that came with the Fluval Evo, so I thought, well, I need to upgrade that. Then I switched to the water box and thought, right, let's look at everybody else's tank, see what everybody's running. And I reckon 9 out of 10 people with the water box tanks run the AI Prime. Now, they do sell them as a package, but I didn't get mine as a package. I got it separately. So price-wise, I mean, I got that light for about, I think it was about £220, £250, brand new. And when I looked at it, it had the app, you could control everything. Now, like Jay says, I didn't really know what I was doing with the light settings and so on, but you've got all the presets. There's actually a Facebook group called AI Prime Users or something, I think it is like that, and they've actually got all the files there, so you can just go on and download people's files. So I tried a couple of different files to start with, but none that I really liked. And it was a guy called Josh from Instagram that actually sent me his file, and I tweaked it a wee bit to kind of what I liked the look of and what I thought would work well, and I've left it at that since. So hopefully it does the job, but it was mainly just the cost. Being 250 quid, I thought, it's not that bad to go for that just now. So that was why I went for the AI Prime one, but it seems to be good touchwood so far, and it does the job. I mean, I think guys do grow LPS and so on, but I'm not planning on growing any SPS in my tank. So, I mean, that might change, but at the time being, it's more than enough for what I need, I think, anyway.
Listen. You know what, Ross? Going on, I run the Hydra 26s. I've had them since day one. 3 years I've had 2 of them, and the third one I've had for just over a year. But I absolutely love the AIs. They grew, people's debated whether they grew, whether they were good enough, whether they grew, and I have never had a problem with them. They grow. Some of the corals in my tank grow like weeds, mate. So it just proves, it definitely works. And they grow SPS. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then on my nano tank, I've got the same as you. I've got the AI Prime 16 HD one.
That's the one I've got. Yeah.
I put some little tiny SPS frags in here, and they're actually sticking. They're actually basing out on the rock, mate. So you know what I mean. It definitely grows. It definitely grows SPS. You know what I mean. Maybe not the higher end stuff, but 100%. They definitely grow. And I love the AI stuff. I think it's the software. The software is fantastic. It's all you just have one platform, and you can control your wave pumps. You can control your lighting, and that's what's good for me. You know what I mean? It's whereas when the Radions, when I looked at the Radions, you had to buy the Reef link, and then you had to buy extras, and it was like £140 for the Reef link, and then it was like £300 for the light, £400, and it just got way out. I mean, now they've incorporated the Mobius, so it's not too bad into the systems. I think it's the Gen 5s.
Maybe the Mobius app is ace. I love the Mobius app.
But that's what I mean, the Mobius app. So it is a good thing. But going on to one of the posts, I'll go back onto Reef King. He said that you don't need high-end lights for softies and LPS, which is absolutely correct. He had the T5 lights with no problems. Well, T5s was what they used back in the day, you know what I mean? And you've seen some of the tanks where the T5s go. And Neil, he's just got the 250. Did he say he's just purchased the 250 Reefer? And he's thinking of 2 AI Primes or 2 Ecotech Radions. Now, in my opinion, if you want the higher end SPS in it, then I'd go for the Radion 15s. But if it's primarily going to be LPS, softy tank, Zoas and stuff like that, the AI primes are going to be perfect for it. So it's entirely down to your choice of what you want to take your reef to look like. You know what I mean, and what you want to base it around. But yeah, you'll grow anything with any of them, mate, whatsoever. Absolutely.
Mate, mine goes back to yours, Steve. So I knew that I was going to get an upgrade at some point. So I thought I'll buy one decent right now, save up, get the upgrade, and then I'll just add a second one later.
That's fair point.
I'll have 2 XR15s on the 300 or 250.
Exactly. Yeah, like I said, just looking at some of these comments, going. Let me see. Fat Shift Rifters said he's running all the Red Sea LED 90s on his tank. Loves them. Seen a lot of people have a lot of success with some of the cheap AliExpress lights. Well, yeah, absolutely.
When the Red Sea lights come out, I think they got a bit of a bad rep I saw online. But recently, you see more and more people talking about keeping really good tanks, SPS. So I don't know if it was just people trying to rubbish Red Sea. I don't know. But they seem to have a much better reputation I've seen in the last 6 months. Or maybe they've made improvements or done something to the schedule. I don't know. You either kind of love Red Sea or you hate it. There isn't much in between, isn't there? On Red Sea, just full stop.
Yeah, it was a software issue, wasn't it, with them, because they were losing connectivity, weren't they? You know the lights and stuff. Jay, if you're wondering what Jay's doing, he's showing us how to do it.
Why I bought a nano tank, because it only takes about 25 minutes.
He's showing his routine maintenance for the week.
I actually forgot to set the timer, but we'll be able to watch this back and check you, Jay, see if you can do it.
Actually trying to multitask, Jay.
I bet you, Ross. I bet you anything that it'll be quicker than what that nitrate test kit was.
He will be by the way, guaranteed.
Guaranteed. So it normally takes me about 20-25 minutes max to do me. My weekly, mate, because people ask how much time do you have to put into your reef tank? So apart from feeding and kind of checking on my dosing and my water parameters, 25-30 minutes on this bit of maintenance here. So
how many litres do you change, Jay?
So I'll do about 15%, so about 12 litres at a time. So they say with the Red Sea Max Nano, change about 12 litres out every time.
Yeah.
Stable, but it also just replenishes you. So I've had a problem with magnesium at the moment. So I found out.
What's the issue you're having, Jay?
So I started dosing alkalinity, Ross. Mm-hmm. And that was all really stable. And then I had my ICP test, and I had a calcium deficiency according to my ICP test. So now I dose calcium foundations. And then I test, so that I dose 2 of the foundations and not the magnesium. I tested magnesium this week and it's at 1200. So I went, so I've had to buy, I haven't set it up yet, but I've had to buy the foundation magnesium.
Yeah.
So if anybody's watching, is this a good product? I don't know, but
I used to use that, Jay. It's really good stuff. The Red Sea magnesium. Yeah, I used to run that in the 170, all the Red Sea products, because, like you said, when you're new to the game, it was more like, you know what, let's stick with one product. So I had a Red Sea tank, I used all the Red Sea coral dips, I used everything. I used everything Red Sea. It had to be Red Sea, you know what I mean? But it was really good, the things.
Yeah. I used the powders on that. So I used the the calcium, magnesium, and I used the powder because it's a lot cheaper to use. So the liquid's really convenient, and Jay, it's fine in that size tank. But I go through 70 milliliters of liquid a day, or 200 of the powder, because you have to dilute it. It's a bit of a pain to dilute, but I've used it. So I can get cheaper versions of that, but I'm happy with what I'm doing on that side.
If anybody's got a nano, I dose 4 mil alk, 2 mil calcium per day, and magnesium's going to be 0.5 mil per day. So you can see the differences in scale between Paul's and the Nano.
Yeah.
Kind of vastly different, isn't it? But
yeah, absolutely. So just going on to back onto those lights, lads. Scott Morrison has basically said, so realistically, is the Radion lights any better than the AI Hydro lights? Big difference in price, but basically, is it worth it? Well, you know what? All I can say, Scott, is that it's down to you and your preference. Yeah, it's what in my opinion, I reckon both will do the same. I mean, maybe the Radions are slightly better, maybe just slightly, but they'll both be able to grow SPS. They'll both be able to grow LPS. They'll both be able to keep your tank, perfect, basically, in the lighting department. So, in my opinion, it's entirely down to you. If you want to spend the extra money and get, I mean, I always go and I always say to the missus, yeah, I'm gonna, if I buy cheaper, I'd have to buy again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, buy cheap, buy twice.
Yeah, exactly. But that's not necessarily the truth with lights like that. You know what I mean? So Radion lights might set you back, say, £450, £500, whatever, and then the AI lights are $360 for the bigger ones, the thingy ones. I don't know, but it's entirely down to you, that mate. I don't know what you guys think.
So I've only had Radion, so I haven't had AI, so I can't compare. I'm really happy with the Radions that I've gone with. I'd buy Radion again. If my go-to light would be that. I've also got a hybrid over one tank, so I've got two XR15s and also a hybrid light. I've got 2 lots. I've got 4 lots of T5s on it, but I haven't really tested them out properly because I haven't got any decent SPS in there. You get a better spread on a hybrid light than you do on the Radions because of the way the pucks are. But for me, I love Radions, but so I'm probably biased. Yeah, but they do a good job. So I think it depends on how much you want to pay.
But you know what, though, Paul? Yeah, you're sticking to what you know. You know what I mean? If you went onto AIs, yeah, you're going onto a different brand. You're going onto a new platform, a different platform that you're unsure of. Same as me. If I swapped all mine and went to Radions, I wouldn't have a clue on how to start. To get them up and going the best lighting schedule and stuff like that. So, like you said, you stick to what you know. You know what I mean? That's what I do now.
Yeah.
So what's the deal with the Radions? How are they controlled? Are they through an app as well, or are they?
Yeah, they are. The new ones are through an app through Mobius, which is Jay just talking about. Before you had to have a separate. They had to have a separate little box, and that would be kind of like blue. Yeah, Reef Link, which I can't remember if it's Bluetooth. It's Wi-Fi, and that was always such a pain to control. So it's come a long way with Mobius. In the lights. Yeah. So yeah,
definitely.
The lights. So I'm sure you agree, Paul. When you program the lights in, they look amazing on the reef, don't they? Like the effect that you
absolutely.
get with them, and the coloration as well of the corals. They are, and it goes back to I think it's just an investment. Just push yourself to get what you can afford, and then you won't regret it because it'll last you. It'll last you.
I agree.
You can transfer it and stuff.
I agree with you, Jay. Definitely. Like you said, you could take it onto if you buy a smaller tank, you could take it on from the smaller tank onto a bigger tank, and instead of buying 2 brand new ones, you only have to buy 1. You know what I mean? So there is a BRS TV video about the best light in 2020. Yeah, check that out. But Radion comes top, basically. Neil's put with his Reef Photon ones, he has a QR code that I can send to anyone using them. They scan it and it will set up my lighting schedule. Oh, that's different. That's a good idea, actually. I don't know why the bigger guns haven't done something like that. That would be interesting. Yeah, different, totally different. That. Is Woody in the house? Oh, Woody's in the house. Yes, Woody.
Jay, what is that you've got?
To protect the carpet, because if I get the carpet wet, I'll be paying for a tank and a divorce, mate. So I need to protect the carpet. So it's a waterproof mat.
Gal's in the house as well. How's it going, Gal? Where have you been for the last hour? Yeah.
Steve, just before you move on, someone posted something twice. It was chilling. It was quite a way back up. He put Roaphos in, stripped all the nutrients out his tank, and he's now got dinos. And is there any advice from anyone around Harry Coates with dino? And you do see more and more people posted around dino, and I think that's because people are running really low nutrients.
It's just
and
an
it
imbalance,
seems to, and it kickstarts the dino. I've only had it once or twice, and the only advice I've done is I've just gradually increased the nutrients in the tank.
Yeah,
I've sucked the stuff out, and then I've put loads of copepods and all kinds of stuff into it. I've taken it up and I've beat it. I know some people take ages, and it depends how bad you've got it, what type you've got. I'm no expert on it. I've just done it by driving the nutrients up gradually, not fast, because then you create other issues like algae and that, and then it's gone for me. But I know some people have really bad problems with it, and they get UV, because you can use a UV, can't you, on it? But you have to do the flow rate, which is different to if you're trying to sort out ick.
Yeah. I'm like yourself, Paul. To be truthful, I don't know tons about it, so I'm not going to proclaim that I am a professional about it. You know what I mean? But I do know, like you said, it's just an imbalance in your system. You know, like you said, running super low things. Just like Paul says, chilling. Just gradually increase your nutrient level up. You know what I mean? And I do know a friend. He had it really, really bad, and he was just basically all he was doing was sucking it out, blowing it off the rocks. Sucking it out, just like Jay's doing there, when it landed on his stand, just sucking it out, doing water changes, and then slowly raised his parameters up, over time. We're talking like maybe a month and a half, 2 months, and then it gradually died itself out, it burnt itself out, you know what I mean? So I've been, touch wood, I've never had it, so I won't like to comment any further on it, but I agree with you, Paul. Just raise it up slowly. Don't do anything too harsh with it, because, like you said, if you raise it up quick, the next thing you're going to get is going to be algae. That's 100%. You know what I mean? So just raise it slowly, mate. Raise it slowly.
And I think Woody makes a good comment on this: is don't overthink everything. Just keep it simple, and the tank will look after itself. I think that is probably a good call. I would say for his comment. So thanks for that comment, Woody. It's a really good one. I think people do overthink it. They overcomplicate it and then chop and change, and you just kill your tank chopping and changing.
I think as a beginner anyway, from me, I'm definitely guilty of that. The first sign you see of anything slightly different, you start to panic and overthink things, and it's difficult to get in that mindset of, no, just let it run, it'll be fine, everything's all right. And I panic quite a lot, but I think certainly you guys want me to calm down a bit with that, so it's much better now.
Adam was saying there, with going on to the lights, that the fluval light is growing his pallies and mushrooms, and then McKenna, softies and things like that. LPS, they won't be an issue with the fluval light. To be truthful, I was going to get one of those fluval, the fluval 52s, instead of the one I got, instead of the nano that I'm running now. But I basically got that secondhand, cheap as chips, and I thought, what, can't turn that down. I could see because originally it was just going to be a frag tank, like I've shown on my channel, but turning it into this little nano tank now, it was the best thing I've done. You know what I mean? So, it is really good, and I'm glad that I bought this as opposed to the fluval. But for the lighting there, yeah, absolutely, mate. You'll grow pallies and mushrooms all day long with it. Jay's using the filter wool.
So I just want to ask a question, actually, while Jay's doing that. So I noticed that he's vacuuming the gravel. Now, that's something I haven't done. Is that something that you guys always do? Is it something that you should do? Is it something you shouldn't do? I haven't done it to my tank yet, so.
So I don't, but I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I've never done that, but I know a lot of people do, and you see a lot of people when you see on videos, they do as well. I don't know what other people do. Steve, I don't know if you do, and anyone in the chat, do you? Hoover sand.
When I used to do water changes, Ross, I did used to sandbag it all the time. But obviously I haven't done a water change for a long time now. But every so often I do stir, the sandbed up, I stir the sandbed up because you don't want to produce, the gases. Because the worst thing is you can produce, the gas, and then you might move a rock, and there's all that gas, and then that leaks out, and it can wipe your whole tank out. So, if you're not doing if you're not doing you're not vacuuming your sand, just stir the sand up when you're doing a water change, just a little bit, in one corner, and then the following time you do a water change, stir the other corner, and that's how I used to do it. You know what I mean? But no, I don't really do them. I don't do water changes now, so I don't do anything.
I've probably vacked about 30% of the sandbed because I can't get to all of it, and so about 30% in total's been done. All the back, obviously, I haven't touched, and some of the corners I just can't get in there with the vac. So it's about 30%, and I do it probably every other water change. I'll just vac, and like Steve said, just turn it over a tiny bit.
Yeah.
It seems.
I think I was probably
the first time I did it. I got nitrates and ammonia. Now, because I do it really frequently, it doesn't release anything.
Because it's a new tank. That, you know what I mean, Jay? You probably just disturbed it too much.
Yeah.
It's basically like a new cycle tank. That's what it would be. You know what I mean?
But I think, Steve, if you're going to stir up the sand, only do a small bit. If you end up stirring up the whole of it, you're going to release a lot of crap, and that could cause problems, mini cycles. And I haven't had experience myself, but some people say it can crash the tank as well. But if you do that, just do a small amount. I stir up little bits at a time, and in a 5.5-year-old tank, you get some crap coming up. But I do it in a corner or something like that when I'm cleaning the glass, and you go along and it all puffs up, but it's all right in a corner.
Yeah.
I think I was more just worried about the fact that, it being a new tank, the bacteria being in the sand, I didn't want to vacuum it and, risk disturbing all that. But I suppose it's going to be all right in the end, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a few people saying go bare bottom.
Yeah.
that's the kind of thing, isn't it? The people are for or against it. The only reason I haven't is because of wrasse, and I'm always thinking wrasse going into the sand, and I think it looks better as well. I've had a couple of tanks where I've been bare bottom, and it's good. It's easy to look after. You can hoover up all the rubbish really easy. For me personally, I don't think it looks as good, but that's my personal preference on that. But I get why people do it, because it's a lot easier to look after the tank.
There's some fantastic bare bottom tanks, going about on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. There's some absolutely incredible tanks, that are bare bottom, and I do like them. But like I said, to me, you want a bit of the ocean, you want a bit of the reef, in your home, and no matter where you look in the ocean, there's going to be some sort of sand. You know what I mean? So, but like I'm with Paul on that. That's just my preference. I love sand in my tank, so. What's
the opinion from the viewers about vacuuming the sandbed? Because it can split opinion.
Is it not many people have put anything down about sand vacuuming the sandbed? To be true, Nano CPX put gravel or sand. I'm presuming he means. I'm not 100% sure. Does that mean would you prefer gravel or sand? I'm not 100% on that. One is put that wrasses don't need sand; they'll find somewhere to hide in a rock. That's true. That
fair comment. I had a team of wrasse that just used to hide in the corner. When I had a bare bottom tank, and he was just hiding in the corner, and then that was it, and he wouldn't even go in the rocks. That's a fair comment.
Absolutely. Neil's put down that sand is all the way for him. Absolutely. Like I said,
have a tank without sand.
At the end of the day, it boils down to one thing. It boils down to your preference. If you want sand in your tank, then you put sand in your tank. If you want a bare bottom tank, just go bare bottom. Do you know what I mean? It's entirely down to the person. For ease of maintenance, bare bottom is the way to go. But realistic for the look of a tank, the look of a reefscape or an aquarium. For me, it's got to be sand in it. That's it.
I agree with that.
He's put bare bottom, and JB Aquatics has put all depends on how deep it is. But absolutely it does. But
I just think like you, Steve, it's authentic with sand. That's what it looks like in the wild, isn't it? So
yeah.
That's why I went for sand on the bottom. because it just looks more like a natural reef, in my opinion. But I'm just replacing the filter.
The reason I got my marine tank was due to the fact that I wanted it to look nice, so that's why I want the sand in it. But again, like Paul said, it's a personal thing. I mean, I get why guys do the bare bottom tanks, but it's just not for me.
Yeah.
No.
So Jay, what are you up to now? So I can see you obviously changed the water, you've vaxed the sand, you've changed the filter floss. What else are you up to there?
So I'm just replacing the filter back in. You know, the canister. I don't know what they're called actually. It looks like a condom, but it's basically a filter. A canister type filter. So I just rinsed that off in salt water. So it's all been cleaned off. That's been rinsed off. Removed the skimmer cup because I'm going to clean the skimmer cup. I haven't replaced the rower foss bag because I did that about 2 or 3 weeks ago. But the rower foss bag sits in chamber 3 down here. But then I wrap it round so it's floating, so they can get the flow around the rower foss bag rather than it just sinking to the bottom. So I kind of wrap the cord around the dosing rack. So that's all that bit done now. That's about 10 to 12 litres of water out. And it's a case of now just replenishing the water. I cleaned the power heads about 2 weeks ago, so I'm not doing that this time. And it's pretty much getting there. Everything's obviously switched off at the moment, but yeah.
And what do you use to clean the power heads? Do you just rinse them in water because you're doing it quite often, or do you use anything to clean it off with?
The filter.
No, the power heads. When you clean your power heads.
I just rinse them in salt water. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but just really fresh, clean salt water, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No chemicals, no lotions and potions. Just clean, fresh salt water.
I believe you get some like powerhead cleaning solution that you can bath them in for a while. Is that right?
Yeah. So I use citric acid. I just buy a bag off of Amazon. I did used to use vinegar, but on MP on the Vortex, it has been known to rot the power head, and it goes down to the metal. So I moved over to citric acid. I can see DC Reefing uses that as well. It's as cheap as chips, and mine gets really cruddy, the MP40s on the bigger tank. So I clean them probably about 5 or 6 weeks. I think if I clean them every week, 2 weeks, like Jay, I could probably just rinse them under salt water, but I'm far too lazy to do it that way. So I use citric acid on that. What do you use, Steve?
Cracking Corals has said easy clean. That's the one I was talking about. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Ross. Sorry, mate. Go ahead.
No, you're all right. Just Cracking Corals has said easy clean. That's the one that I was thinking it was. I think you can buy that and then you just dunk the power heads in it and leave it for a bath. I don't know if it's citric acid that is based or not, but that was the one that I had seen was easy clean.
Well, funny you should say that because today when I ordered my stuff from Cracking Corals, so big shout out to Cracking Corals, fantastic place. That is exactly what I got. Was the easy
That's
clean.
The one, yeah.
That was the one that I ordered as well. Yeah, I used to just do what Jay did, was just rinse them off in salt water and just get the old toothbrush and scrub it and do it that way. But I have heard some really good reviews on this easy clean. Yeah, obviously along with the citric acid, but anybody using vinegar, that is a no. Because what it does is it releases the actual glue and the actual thing from like wave maker pumps and stuff like that. Because I've seen it happen. It cracks, it breaks the seal, and then obviously the rust leaks into your tank. So citric acid, or I'm going to give this a try this weekend, the easy clean, and I will sure to let you know what I think of it.
How much was that, Steve?
It was $9.99, mate. This one.
That's not bad. And how much? Yeah. I mean, Dom, how long does that on average last? Does it sound there? How many doses
It's 350. It's 350 grams. This is yeah. And according to the application of it, it says that you need to dissolve 6 measuring spoons of easy clean powder for every 500 ml of fresh water. So I'm assuming that's not going to be very big spoons, is it? You know, so it's not much, and you get 350 grams in it. So I'd say it'd last me some time.
Yeah, and in the scheme of things, it's peanuts, isn't it? 10 quid for something in this hobby. That's probably not something that you would worry a bit too much about with the cost of everything else.
Exactly. Yeah.
Jay, did you get the new sticker though, Jay? That's the question.
Yeah, it's a shiny.
No.
He's upset now.
Like my order came today.
All my equipment's from Kraken Corals.
So I never even got one. I never even got one of them. Dom, I need one of those things next time I come up. I'm going to be coming up next week, so you've got to hand me one of them over. Spent a fortune in your shop, mate.
I bought all my stuff from there. It's the best online delivery service out of all the marine shops.
Yeah, you're almost guaranteed next day delivery. I always have anyway.
Yeah, they are. They're really good. Dom and Michelle, fantastic. It's a really good shop.
I love that company.
Yeah, really good.
Right, let's power it back up then.
Let's see some others. Kraken Coral, you're taking so much of my money, and I'll throw you more soon. Yeah, like I said, this is another topic of when people are going to be starting shipping. You know, shipping livestock out and stuff like that. It's just so difficult. You know what I mean? I don't envy these stores. You know, it's
And I think there's only one courier, isn't there, that would actually allows you to send livestock. I know people use Royal Mail and other stuff, but in terms of shops, I think they only use one, isn't there? I'm not too sure which one they use, but and of course, you can't guarantee.
I'm sure wasn't something about the ones that Jay used. Which one is the one that you used, Jay? Dave was saying something about their
what was shipping. That?
You know about their shipping, saying that they had to put the shipping costs up. The store that you use, what's it called?
Seller Marine, was it?
Seller Marine, that's the one. They were saying that they had to use another courier company, and the shipping cost was like insane. It was like £25 or something to ship, whether it's one item or a big item.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, they put it on Facebook.
It's stupid. Yeah, they put it on Facebook. Yeah, it's just Kraken Corals. Put anyone got the glitter sticker? No, I haven't. Kraken.
I have.
I haven't.
The what? The glitter stick?
The glitter sticker.
Is that the one that Ross just showed?
Yeah.
I think it might be actually.
I've got loads of sticker rock. You know, like the Kraken sweets. There, Ace.
That one there, I think he means.
Kraken Corals just put down that there's two couriers, but neither actually cover the cost if you lose the stock. So if it's late or it dies, you get nothing but the cost of the postage. Wow, that's the problem, isn't it? No, not many people are going to run the risk of that, are they? That's for sure. Yeah.
I'll tell you what though, when you look at the cost of sending stuff in this country, I mean, a lot of people charge about 15 quid. If you see in the US, the cost when you see some of the shops, how much they cost, it's about $60, $70 overnight. So you compare, what's that, say 50, 60 quid compared to 15 quid for an overnight. And that's a much bigger country, but you can say there's a lot more postage in that. But that's a hell of a lot more in terms of if you want things through the post for livestock.
Yeah, well, I did notice that in America, Waterbox, I think, were advertising one of their tanks, and they were saying that they had a reduced shipping rate of $200 to ship the tank out. And I just thought, you know, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's
a lot of them are free in this country. I know with DD, you can have a white glove service where they'll actually bring it into your house and unpack it and stuff like that. And that's, I'm not sure about that. It's about 100 quid, but others will just take it to the curb and that's it. So I suppose it depends on what service you're getting, Ross, on that. But it does feel like quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
What was I going to say then?
So just one thing, Gal was saying no one ships to him. So I'm not too sure where he's.
He's the Isle of Man.
Right. Okay, I got it. Right.
Yeah, but Gal, you're the one who you own the shop on there, though. You're the only LFS store on the Isle of Man.
Don't feel sorry for him. They can go to the pub and have a beer. They can.
That's quite true.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I feel sorry for Gal, that's for sure. You know, you must only have like one fish store or something on the Isle of Man. It's a shame. Yeah, that's another thing. Harrow's put down. It's a shame Australia don't sell their Cade aquariums. Those Cade aquariums look fantastic. They look really, really good. Them, but it's just like the water box, isn't it? They were over in America, obviously an American company, and then they've only just started coming over here. So I think over time, I think Cade will come over here. It just takes time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Cade tanks do look really nice. I've seen a couple of videos where they're showing them off, and I mean, you just can't get them. But if somebody starts bringing them over here, I think they'll be really successful.
I do, absolutely.
So where are they pitched? Are they the equivalent of Red Sea, or are they a quality above Red Sea? I've heard the name, but I haven't really seen in terms of the quality of them.
I think it's probably in between, to be truthful, Paul. You know, one of those ones where it's supposedly better quality than the Red Sea. You know, slightly better quality, but it's not like a custom made one. You know what I mean? Yeah. But they are nice. Don't get me wrong. The Australian guy, the one who's set up his new dream tank,
Parker's Reef.
Parker's Reef. Yeah.
He did a video on one on in store showing the Cade tanks, and they did look fantastic. But like you said, they were just based over in there. I don't know whether they shipped to America or not. I'm not 100% sure. But Batship Lifter's put down. He's put down Cade. They're probably like the water box that has the controller board and etc. Right.
All right.
New to me, different, but that'd be good. That what with all that on it. You know, I do like the controller board on it. To be truthful, it's somewhat different on it.
It is. I must admit, I wouldn't make it myself because I'm terrible at DIY. But to actually buy a tank where that's in it, that just makes it a lot easier to hide the cables and everything's just nice on there. Mine's just like a spaghetti box.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So what's Jay? What are you doing now? I know you're in the cabinet.
So I'm trying to get to my ATO and just top up my ATO water because you can see it. I don't know if you can see it at the moment, but it's about a third of the way full. So I'm going to top that up. But this is just me. Here's my stickers. Look.
Jay. I'm thinking next time you should do the nitrate test again.
Mate, that was a lot longer. That was a lot longer than the water change.
So, Jay, did your tank come with the ATO reservoir, or is that one that you've just put in?
Yeah, so I had to purchase it separately. Just went on eBay and bought a glass aquarium. Well, what is it? Yeah, tank. And just use that for my ATO. So it lasts about 10 days. The ATO does. I think it's about 15 litres. That stuff is ace. Coral RX, yes.
Yeah, well,
and what is the ATO that you've got in there, Jay?
So it is a Tunzi.
All right, okay.
A Tunzi. I can't remember now. Yeah, Tunzi.
Yeah.
Hey Jay, just funny you should say about that Coral RX. That's the one that I use actually for dipping my corals, and obviously with the recent things that I've been going through in my tank with these supposed flatworms and stuff like that. Obviously, I was peed off with myself, and I went to buy that Coral RX, but my local fish store didn't have it in. So he said to get this one, and I've got to admit, it's just as good. It's absolutely just as good. And it's Brightwell's Aquatics, and it's the turn it up, and it's the Coral MD one. Brightwell's Aquatics. It's basically the same stuff, but I literally dose this, I dose that, I put the corals in, and there must have been about 40 or 50 bugs that flew off it straight away, literally within 10 seconds of putting it in. It's absolutely fantastic stuff. So I don't know if any of you guys actually use this stuff and what you think of it. It'd be good if you let us know in the comments below. But I think it's definitely a no-brainer, and it's about 16 quid, 16, 17 pounds. So pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't tried that. It's the Coral RX that I use. I've not tried anything else yet, but I think Jay seems to be missing that tank more than he's actually got in it, I think.
What are you saying there? What are you saying there, Ross?
I think you've got more water on the floor than there is in the ATO, Jay.
That's why you need the puppy pee pad here.
I've never heard of that. I've heard of it before, but not to keep the water off the floor of your tank. That's a good hack, as they call it.
Yeah, it protects the carpet.
Yeah. Can I just say one thing? That we've got over 30 people on the live chat, which beats last week. So thank you for everyone
absolutely
joining this scene. It's fantastic. So thank you for taking the time to be with us.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, like second that what Paul just said. Thanks for coming on the stream and
cheers
and stuff like that. Absolutely. Ross is on the Glenfiddich, and I'm on the Thatcher's Cloudy Lemon Cider.
I'm on the Pepsi Max, the hard stuff.
Paul's on his Pepsi. And what are you on, Jake? Oh, you're on
John Smith's at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like he's on RO water, I think.
Hey, Ross, quick question one of the quiz. Can you name the RO water? Where's it from? Can you tell?
So, I'm going to throw it out there and go with a really wild, crazy guess. Now, I don't know if anybody's heard of it, but there's a place that Jay goes to called Spotless Water. Now, he rates them. I've never tried it, but I think there's a secret sponsor in there for Jay on Spotless Water, to be honest.
A Scottish man always knows his water.
Well, I wouldn't pay for water, mate. We get it free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're lucky.
Woody put down, has anybody got an upgrade planned? We spoke about this earlier on, Woody. I think it was just before you joined. Ross says that he's thinking of upgrading towards the end of the year, maybe New Year. And Jay's definitely looking at getting an upgrade. For me, mate, at this moment in time, I'm not going to upgrade yet. I'm going to leave it for the time being, but maybe next year sometime. I've got to. If I upgraded, I'd have to rip all my flooring up and prop the floor up, because any bigger tank I think it would go through. So it's an old house, you see. So I wouldn't like to trust it, but you never know. Maybe in the future, the most I would probably go to is about a 525, maybe 600. That would be it though. I wouldn't go any more than that. Paul, I don't think you're planning on upgrading, are you? To Madrugal?
We potentially might have an extension done here.
Yeah.
If we do, then I might, because the tank's getting a bit old, I might go for a different tank. Got no idea. What I would really like is a cube, a 4x4 cube, but there's no way I can fit that in. But just to have a 4x4 shallow reef, you see a couple of them on YouTube, and they look really different. They look fantastic. So that is something I'd like to do, but I don't think we'll go for that. But potentially, I wouldn't go any bigger than 6 foot in the dining room, I must admit. That would probably be big enough for me. But I'd only upgrade if we had an extension done. I'm happy with the 2 tanks in the garage and the tank in the dining room behind me.
Reef King, Bonksy, let's have a look at your tank. It's super nice. You know what? I appreciate that, mate. I love the comments that you leave. But I would let you see it, but all you'll see at this moment in time is pitch darkness, because I'm not like Ross and I'm not like Paul. They're running their tanks, theirs is still going, but mine's in pitch darkness. But maybe next time I'll try and keep the lights on a little bit longer, maybe. And definitely, to be truthful, I was going to actually set up a separate camera. I was going to set up a separate camera. I was just going to have it, purposely pointing on the tank and do it that way. But then I realised, I thought, well, that's stupid, because my lights go out at like 8:15, so I went against that idea. So, but maybe on the next one, mate, absolutely.
So maybe how's the new setup coming on, Mogsy?
Pardon?
How's the new setup coming on in the tank?
Oh, it's coming on brilliant, mate. Yeah, it's coming on fantastic. Yeah, as you know, I bought a couple of more corals, so a couple of new corals are going to go in there in the nano. And I'm where I'm still undecided. I don't know what people would, what people recommend or what people should do. What they think we should do. Because I was going to get a NEM and put an anemone in it. But then Jay's anemone has turned me against it in somewhat shape or form. But I don't know. I'd like to know people's opinions. Do you think I should go with a small escape of what I've got, or a smaller aquarium of what I've got? Or do I put different corals in it, or turn it into like a clown harem tank, where there's loads of anemones in it. I don't really know which way I'm going at this moment, but
yeah, I did some research on a clown harem tank, and the thing I said, very few of them are successful long term, because you need a really big tank, and as they grow older, they turn on one another. I know BRS TV have got a really old video, and I think they had a tank set up for about 2 or 3 years. But clowns in a smaller space don't tend to do well. They tend to pick off one another any more than a pair. That's only from the research I've done from online and from reading threads. Now, it could be that people just had bad luck or they didn't do a particularly good job, but you don't see many that are that successful.
No. Claire's just put she loves her anemones. Well, I know Claire's are breeding like babies, I think, because I'm sure she's got 4 like rabbits, sorry. I think she's got about 4 or 5 in there at this moment in time. But I do like anemones, don't get me wrong, but they are a pain in the backside. You know, they start to move and you're forever moving your corals, because anything that stings, it's not going to survive. Do you know what I mean? So that's the only problem with it. But
and Steve, there's a couple of comments there from Kraken around multiple baby clowns. They pair off and kill each other and then separate as they get bigger.
Is that further? Oh yeah, I'll just see that. You know what? It's something I haven't really delved into it. You know, like as much as what you have, and obviously Dom or Michelle, whoever that is, commenting. But I do know when I have seen the one on the what's it called? What did you just say it was called?
BRS TV. The guys in America.
That's right. I have seen that one. Well, I didn't know that they would pair off and kill each other. So maybe I'm not going to go that way then. That's for sure.
That's something to look forward to, isn't it? In a nano, Jesus. I've only got 4 corners.
Clowns are ruthless, aren't they? The damsels, and as you said before, they are one of the most ruthless fish that you see, especially the females.
Absolutely. Jambo's put, how's your monster shrimp? So for anybody who's not following me on Instagram or YouTube, I recently purchased, it was in my last video. I'm starting to.
Oh, I think we've lost him.
He's gone.
Get to see a lot more. Are you there?
Yeah, you cut out the last 30 seconds. So we heard Instagram and YouTube.
Can you hear me now? Am I there?
Yeah.
So I'll just repeat that. On my Instagram, if you're not following me on my Instagram or my YouTube channel, I posted a video last time, my last video, where I was starting to get a lot more asterina starfish, in my tank, and they were becoming a nuisance. So I was beginning to take them out. I pulled them out because they tend to come out at night time, don't they? And I was pulling them out manually, but it just I started to see more and more and more. So I thought I need to do something about this. So I went to my LFS and I purchased the Harlequin shrimp. Now, what I'm talking about, guys, is this shrimp is massive. It is massive. it
is a unit of a shrimp.
It's one of the biggest I've ever seen. Yeah. And I thought to myself, I've got to have that. Well, the moment I put it in my tank, it was straight onto him. You know what I mean? So to answer your question, Jambo, how is the monster shrimp doing? He's doing absolutely fine, mate. He's eating everything. So, and even my missus said to me, you know what? I've not seen many of those starfish on the glass, and it's definitely doing its job. So, but they tend to come out in the evening. So, up to now, hopefully it's going to do its job. But yeah,
they're superb. One of the best looking creatures I think you can have in a tank, and the way they move, they've got massive pincers, and if you see them actually attack the starfish. And they take it. I mean, they feed off the big starfish as well. They'll cut off their legs and keep them alive. So again, they're ruthless. It seems to be a theme, isn't it? That fish seem to be quite ruthless, but they're just the way they move. They seem so gentle, but they're fantastic. The only problem is they only feed off a starfish, so their life expectancy are usually not that long, are they?
No. Or when they run out of the asterinas, they die, don't they? You know what I mean? So But I've said the moment I start to see the population go, or they start to dwindle, then I'm just gonna I'll take it back to the fish store and I just get credit. you know what I mean, or I pass it on. It's not an issue, you know what I mean. Scrolling down here, I'm just trying to look at the one. I'm trying to get back on track of where I am. Reef Kings put down, you need a good sized tank. He's just echoed your comments, Paul, saying that you need a good sized tank for NEMs.
So anybody wants to buy a NEM, you can bid down. It starts at £1, and then at in a minute, whatever the highest bid is, you've got mine.
Kraken Corals has put down. Now I don't know what people's opinions are of this. This gets a lot of mixed opinions. Of starfish. Now, my opinion, people actually buy starfish, which I know of, and I know of people who do it, basically just for a food source for things like that, as in Harlequin shrimp and stuff like that, yeah. And basically they cut a leg off because the actual leg grows back. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I just couldn't do that. I couldn't take it out and cut a leg off and put it in.
I couldn't.
I don't know about you guys, but that's my take. I couldn't do that. I mean, Asterinas, it's good to go. It can eat as many as they want of them. That's perfect. But having to take it starfish out and cut it, and then put a leg in, and then put it back in the sump, I don't know about that. So I'd love to know what your opinions are and everybody else's.
I mean, how many starfish would you have to kill for your Harlequin? Jesus.
I don't know.
Quite a few.
It's a big dude, that's for sure.
It's huge.
I'd have no problem doing that. But then when I took it back, so I sold it to someone else. So I passed it on to someone else who needed one. But it wouldn't bother me.
So you did it, Paul, yeah?
No, I didn't actually cut the starfish legs off or anything. If I couldn't have got rid of the Harlequin and given it away to someone else or sell it to someone else, then I probably would have bought a starfish and fed it. But I didn't do that. But I wouldn't have had a problem doing it.
Yeah. Reef Kings put, how's the new corals in your tank, Beard Reef?
Yeah, so they're doing well. Obviously, that's the first corals in the tank now. So I had my Duncan. I don't know if any of you seen the Duncan. Did you see it? Did you see the Duncan? Yeah, so I had the Duncan to start with, and then I got 4 different corals from mail order corals. Now they're just quite local to me, maybe only 20 minutes away, half an hour away. So went over and collected them from mail order corals, and to be honest, they're brilliant. The value for money was really good. The corals are really nice. The zoas have already grew some new polyps. The mushroom seems to have got a bit bigger as well. So everything seems quite good. I did actually get the random flow generator. So it's the VCA one that I got. It's a kit that you buy. Kraken Corals actually ordered that in from me. So they managed to get that, and that arrived today. So I fitted that to the tank today, and lo and behold, the mushroom didn't really like it. It kind of shrunk up a bit. So I've moved the mushroom to a different bit in the tank now, and it seems to be back out again and doing healthy. So yeah, everything seems to be going well with them, to be honest. Touch wood anyway. So quite happy with that. I seem to be hooked on the whole Zoa thing though. I know a lot of people kind of underrate them, but I love the Zoas. I think they look great.
Zoas are so underrated, mate. But you know what?
Yeah.
Though? They make some of the best. They make some of the best scapes and the best colour in a reef aquarium ever made. You know what I mean? Sometimes better than any other coral. You know what I mean? It's if you have the right, incredible, mate. Incredible.
Yeah. Going on from there, I think Colette's put in there. What's the favourite coral? So what's your favourite coral, lads?
Favourite coral?
Yeah.
What that we've already got?
Well, I suppose either what you've got or what you're aiming to get.
This is a hard one. This is a hard one. I'll go first. Yeah. Now I'm going to give two answers to this. Yeah. I can't just give one answer. That's unfair. So I'm going to have to give 2. Yeah. What I'm going to change the question to, what is your favourite coral, and then I'm going to just add on to that. I'm going to put and what is your dream coral for me to get as well. Yeah. Now, my favourite coral in the tank at this moment in time has got to be my bounce mushroom. I love that bounce mushroom. It's colouring up, growing beautiful. It's absolutely incredible. It's definitely turned out better than I thought.
I thought you killed it.
Well, I'm going to go on to a story about that. Yeah. And believe me, mate.
I thought it was dead. You told me.
Believe me, I wasn't laughing, mate. That's for sure. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, quick story on that before I say the mushroom. I put it down and it was in that food pot. So I went to bed, came down the following morning, and it had gone. So I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, where the hell has this mushroom gone? Yeah, I'm thinking it's been blown into a power head and, you know, completely disintegrated. Didn't see it, went to work, came back, and I was like gutted. I couldn't even think at work. I was like, what the hell's, where's it gone? Do you know what I mean? Well, lo and behold, it was stuck on the back of my urchin, you know, my pin urchin. And he was he'd gone on a wander around the tank, you know what I mean? So now the actual mushroom is stuck on a rock now. I actually glued it on the rock, so it's not going anywhere, mate. So, but going back onto the favourite coral, it's definitely my mushroom. But my dream coral, which is going to be one of my next, well, it's not going to be my next purchase. It's got to be the Holy Grail torch, the Holy Grail. That's my next. I want the Holy Grail gold torch. That's what I want.
Can't believe you said
Ross.
So my favourite one in the tank is probably the radioactive dragon-eye zoas. There's something. It wasn't my favourite to start with, but see now the colours have came out properly, and I mean they really pop now. Again, it's zoas, but I love the zoas, so that's probably my favourite in the tank. But I think my kind of ultimate goal would be probably the gold torch. I think that's kind of what I want for the tank. That's going on. Like I say, not planning really SPS in this tank. I think a torch will probably be the kind of ultimate for me in here. So I will get one. It's just a case of waiting until I find one, and maybe when Jay frags his, I'll buy one of his off him.
Well, he's got enough of them now, hasn't he?
I know.
We'll call Jay the Torch King from now on.
Yeah.
All about the torches for me. I absolutely love them. Absolutely.
Yeah. So going on to you, Jay. What's yours then?
Right,
I'm taking it.
So my favourite's obviously my torch. Let me just get my thing on. So it's me dragon soul. I know it's called the dragon soul now. But yeah, it's my dragon soul. You got one, didn't you? Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I purchased it yesterday. Yeah,
it's sulking a slight bit because obviously there's no water change.
Yeah, it's stunning, mate.
No, stunning.
Now you look at the colours; it's insane.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. They are a beautiful colour, definitely.
Insane.
And I didn't realize how like yellow they were. You know, like how really yellow. When I looked at my other torches, I was like, I've got the Indo gold and stuff, and I'm like, but then when I put that in my tank, it just stood out straight away. I was like, wow, blown away with the colour. You know of it? It's so bright. I couldn't believe it.
And my dream coral, Steve, you've already said it. So I bet there must be about 100 people in the country waiting for a Holy Grail, and as soon as one appears, it's just going to go like that. But mine
I've got mine on order, Jay. I've got it on order.
Well,
I've just got to wait for it to be cut. It's going to be cut. When it's cut, I'm having one.
Hey, you can't do this to me. I'm breaking my dreams. I'm okay.
Hey, we can share it. I'll have it for 2 weeks, and then I'll bring it up to you, and you can have it for 2 weeks. We'll do it that way.
Yes. Whilst I pass over to Paul, make sure everybody comments about what their dream coral is and what their favourite coral is. But no Holy Grail, no more Holy Grails, please. Paul, what's your best coral in your tank?
So in terms of type, chalice. I love chalice. I think there's so many different varieties of colours on them. And my favourite is a rainbow chalice. There was a video I put on Instagram the other day because they're really difficult to get hold of. They're quite expensive, but more importantly, they just morph in colour as they grow out. They're slow growers. But the colours, the one I've got, in probably 6 months, the look of it will be different in terms of the different colours you got. So it's a fantastic coral. I'd love to get a jelly bean chalice. So it's slightly different to the one that I've got, and the colours are brighter. So I'd like to get a jelly bean, but I love chalices and I like the rainbow ones. I do like torches, but they're brilliant.
Our good friend's got a jelly bean, Paul.
Is he?
Yeah, your namesake.
Yeah. I missed out on one the other day. I saw one, and the guy had already sold it 20 minutes earlier, which is a bit of a shame because I would have picked that up. But yeah, they're fantastic corals.
Jelly bean, like you said, they're so hard to get, those jelly beans.
Rainbow chalice are, because they grow so slowly.
Yeah.
Hardly any shops have got them. You know, whereas you can get torches, other than the kind of ones you're talking about there, most of them you just can't get them.
No. Talking about holy grails, Kraken corals. Theirs is stunning, absolutely stunning.
Ignore Steve. Whatever Steve wants it for, 10% more here.
There's going to be a bidding war here, I think.
It's going to be an auction.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It might be a bidding war here, Jay. Bit of a bidding
Paul,
war.
going back to yours about the rainbow chalice. So I like rainbow chalice as well, but they change colour, do they? So what you buy, you don't actually get down the line. So
with chalice, there's a couple of things. So firstly, I always find when you put it into your tank, the colours tend to change on chalice. They go a little bit duller to begin with, I've found anyway, and then they recover. But with the rainbow, because the patterns are so different, I'll post a picture tomorrow when I first got it. And then what happens with the rainbow, because you get 4 or 5 different colours, and all of a sudden a different colour will come out and one colour will disappear. It depends on your parameters and your lighting, and it's just the way it grows out, because it's got multiple colours on it. I mean, I'm now getting developed a bit more of a yellow colour on it, whereas when I first got it, there was hardly any yellow in it whatsoever. But I just like that, and just the way they look and the way they colour up, they're fantastic.
Yours is beautiful as well. I've seen pictures of yours, and it looks stunning. But I've seen somebody selling one. I'm not going to tell you where, because everybody else will go look for it. But, he's not put out a price yet, and it's a really nice piece. So what are you paying for a really nice piece?
So I paid 250 quid for a piece that was probably just over a centimetre in a square sense. So that's pretty much the size of it. Now exactly. Now it's way over the frag plug, and that was from an LFS as well. So arguably you get it cheaper privately, but I was just lucky that they got it in their display tank, and Paul at AAC had pragged it, and I was just lucky to get it. But that was about a year ago. I suspect it'd be more expensive now, like most corals, but actually 250 at the time, I thought was a decent price for a frag. He probably could have sold that 10 or 15 times over. I was just lucky that it was on a site, and I said I'll have it, and I got there before anyone else. But he could have sold it multiple times, and if he had said 400 quid, I would have paid it, because I wanted that particular.
And this brings us on to people, you know, like where people say how much is somebody willing to pay for a coral, or people will say why is that being charged that price? And the reason it boils down to is because we as reefers, we're paying for it, mate, and it's in demand. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you know, torch corals. Only 3-4 years ago, you was picking up for £60, £70, no matter what, and then all of a sudden there was a ban, and then there was a shortage, or supposedly a shortage, and then torches went through the roof. Do you know what I mean? And it still seems to be staying there because of the demand. People want to keep paying for it. Do you know what I mean? So, and it's the same with them. With like said Paul, a 1 centimetre piece. You know what I mean? £250. It's insane what people.
It is not.
As long as we keep paying, people will still sell it like that. You know what I mean? So
another nice collie that a few people said coral is Scully. I love Scullies as well. Scullies are absolutely fantastic looking. When you see some of them, I've got a war paint one, but some of the other ones are just amazing in terms of the colours on them as well.
If you go to eBay now and type in corals and do corals from high to low, there's a Scully on eBay at the moment, and it's over £1,000. It is nuts.
Jay, you stay off. Jay, you stay off eBay. You're the eBay warrior, mate. You stay off eBay.
Mate, they all use Lightroom or whatever it is, and there's no WYSIWYG on eBay, I tell you.
So just a slight change of subject on this. So I've seen a couple of comments there about what people feed the corals. So what do you guys feed your corals?
I feed mine the Reefloids. I feed them the Reefloids, but I also feed them, the powders that are with the aquaforest stuff. Yeah, I use all that stuff. So what I do is mix, I alternate it. So let me just get it. I'll actually get it. Tell you what it's called.
Yeah, I must admit, I don't feed my corals anything. I used to, but I just don't anymore because I've got sufficient fish in the tank. It seems to do okay as it is. I used to use the Red Sea A, B, C, D, but I stopped. I ran out and I just didn't bother replacing it. I didn't really notice a difference.
No, I started to use Red Sea AB plus, but then it kind of coincided with my algae outbloom. So then I thought I didn't know if it was to blame for it, so I just stopped dosing Red Sea AB plus, even though it makes your corals look stunning in terms of coloration, and they really like it. They're thirsty for it, but I think it just coincided with my ugly stage, so I might start doing it a little bit again. But Reefroids seem to be the one by the looks of it.
Reefloids is the one, but I do dose the Reefloids, but obviously because I dose the ABEV formula for the aquaforest. If anybody doesn't know that, it's just trace elements that you put in your tank. You feed your corals and stuff, but basically you mix the reco foods. So you mix the reco food with it, one day, and then you on the alternative day you mix the AF powder. And basically, it's just exactly the same. One of them's for more like gorgonians and the feather dusters and stuff, and and then another one is like for clams and LPS and stuff like that. So they're the ones that I mix. I just alternate, so it's something different for the corals. So and they seem to enjoy it. So that's the main thing, you know what I mean. But other than that, that's what I use.
Yeah, just going back to Scollies quickly. Kraken, I've got one for £1,360 for a Scully if anyone's interested.
£1,360.
Yeah.
Which one is that? Where's that? I can't see that.
Oh yeah, it's further back up.
If you scroll up, it's the comments.
Oh, there, yeah. So Kraken corals, 1,360. Kraken corals, which Scully is that, if you don't mind? Because bloody hell. I don't think I'm going to be going to buy that. I've spent too much already.
But the most common one on here, as you say, is Reefroids. You've got something that some people doing platinum corals. I've seen that more on Instagram being mentioned than I have on Facebook or anything else.
I've just been to the bar, lads. Did you want anything?
Good, cheers.
It's too late because I'm a Yorkshireman. I don't buy rounds. I'm saving up for my next coral now.
Yeah,
that's a few tins, though, isn't it? You have to save to get your coral.
That's it. I mean, it's every time it's payday. I said this last week, but every time it's payday, I'm just straight on the coral websites and just looking for corals. It's just
that's another thing. Do you feed Jordan enemy, Jay? Because that's
no, actually, I don't.
Well, with my anemone, I used to feed. I used to actually get prawns, fresh prawns, and actually feed it a full prawn. Switch all the wave makers off and feed a full prawn once a week, and it grew like there was no tomorrow. With it. And some people said you don't feed the nems. I did feed my nem, so I was just wondering, do you feed yours?
So Joshua's aquarium said to me, "Don't feed it." So like a newbie, I went, all right then, I won't. I didn't ask the question, why not? I just went, all right, I won't. But to be honest, he already looks like he's on Reefroids at the moment. He's just like puffed up. But no, I don't feed it because apparently does that encourage them to move around and gives them energy or something? I don't know.
Well, yours does anyway, Joe. If you fed it, it'd be sprinting.
I would feed yours because it might make yours stay put because it might be full.
You want me to feed it, so I just have. So I'm up all night on the bloody baby monitor.
I wouldn't feed it, mate. The next time you do a water change, it'll want to fight you.
I'm gonna have to get that Harlequin shrimp round to take it on.
Hey Jay, there's only one winner there, mate. There's only one winner.
You need to call that Harlequin shrimp Tyson Fury or something.
You know what? We need to name that shrimp. We need to name that shrimp. It's a monster, mate. I've got.
There's only one name for it, mate, and that's Hulk.
Hulk, yeah. Hulk, yeah. Hulk the Harlequin shrimp, yeah. Hey, good call. Yeah, we could have that, mate. I think that's what we'll adopt that as Hulk. Yeah, so the shrimp's going to be called Hulk.
I target feed my nem, so there's no waste. Does he have any problems with moving around the tank though, or what?
Yeah, I don't.
I'll try anything to make it stay in one place. I will. I'll try anything.
Super glue.
Super gorilla, the gorilla gel. Is that
it? Neil's
it's definitely the hardest thing in my tank. It's definitely the hardest thing that I've done so far. Is the nem, and I wouldn't do it again if I'm being honest. But now I've got it, I kind of feel like I should look after it. So I'm just doing my best.
Neil's put. He uses Vitalis. Is that the Vitalis pellets? Because they have the pellets, don't they, for the nems? Vitalis, don't they? Is that what he means? Just comment below, Neil. Colette, she's put down. She feeds her anemones prawns, and it came out after feeding 2. Well.
Oh, grim.
Well.
Yeah, the thing is with the nems, they look really like the colours she got on them nems are amazing.
Yeah,
so they're obviously healthy.
Yeah, she's done really well with those anemones.
Can I ask her how her nems don't run into her corals? Because she's got a heavily stocked tank now.
I think she's got about 4 or 5. Just comment below, Colette, on how many.
She must have about 35, 40 corals in there. So how they're not all getting stung to bits?
Exactly.
Don't know.
Exactly. She's glued them down with Gorilla Glue.
She's what?
She's glued them down with Gorilla Glue. Yeah.
Thing is, though, they are the most colourful thing in the tank.
Haley's joined. I didn't see Haley there. Oh, there, Haley.
Is that the original Haley that used to be always on? Yes, it is.
She's on Paul. Yeah, Paul's Real Reef. Yeah.
Aquarium as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and Aaron's. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about Aaron's aquarium. Neil put down about Aaron saying that obviously we hope he gets better. We hope he gets back onto it because he is a really good lad. It is a great channel, what he's got, and he's helped a lot of people out, starting out in the hobby and starting out in their journey. And I'm all for that, mate, because you know what, that's what we're for. We're not experts, we're not professionals. We don't, all we do is we just point people in the direction we've been. You know what I mean? And if they take it on board, they take it on board. But yeah, I echo Neil's thing.
Nothing more important than your mental well-being. So let's
absolutely.
Him and came back. We'd love him to join the chat one day.
Well, fingers crossed. Absolutely, mate. That would be great. Absolutely. Going on to let's see. My name, Adam's just put down.
Stop moving when he fed it. This better not be a wind up.
You need to try it and see, Jay.
He's getting a prawn tomorrow, then I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah, hey. Yeah, you know what, Jay? You could do that, and then next week you could do that, yeah? Get a prawn tomorrow, feed it, and then tell us on the next live stream how it went on.
How it went, yeah?
Film it, mate. You need to film it.
Look, it's not a whole prawn, though, is it? It must be
just enough for it to go in its mouth. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
you know what I mean. Right. It's like if you got like a big 2 pound in weight kebab, you're not going to shove that in your mouth, are you? You know what I mean?
Well,
I probably would die.
I've been known to it. 2 a.m. in the morning. I've been known to.
All right then. Well, yeah, just put a little bit in, mate. And you should be okay.
Okay, Adam, I'll do what you say, but if it goes tits up, then
yeah, it's coming for you. It's coming for you, Adam.
Haley's got a tip. Haley's got a tip if you want to put that up around nems.
Or anemones. I'm getting loads of advice here. I hope it's good advice.
This one's for you, Jay.
My nems all the time.
Yeah.
The only thing that stopped it moving was to put it somewhere else's tank.
You could see the penny drop then as he read it out.
Yeah.
He knew what was coming.
Yeah, because I just realised I got a job. That's what it was.
Reefing, we've always just joined the house. Reefing, we've always just joined the house for
welcome
6 minutes
to the
to
United
go.
States.
Yeah,
welcome the US
welcome.
viewers.
Welcome, Reefing. We're all.
Is there any other international viewers on? We welcome everybody, but we've got Isle of Man, we've got US.
We did have Cranium Reef. I think she's Sweden, I believe.
Swedish, yeah.
Yeah, Swedish. And then everybody else is from the northwest, because everybody's like, well, pretty much, apart from Paul.
No, everybody's Scottish. Come on.
No, but the reefing scene is massive in the northwest of England, and I don't know why. Like, a lot of reefers are from the northwest. There's loads of LFSs and stuff up there. It's like the Barrier Reef up there in the northwest, isn't it?
the Barrier Reef.
The Barrier Reef just outside Scotland.
Yeah, Colette's put down that she's got 4 anemones. She keeps a close eye on them. And they tend to stay in the same place. Only time when they move is when they split, and then they settle after the day. Yeah. You know what? They move around to the right light, don't they, in the right flow. And then once they find that spot, 9 times out of 10, they settle there, don't they? You know what I mean? But having 4 in a smaller tank, that's risky. She's braver than me, that's for sure, because I wouldn't do that. No chance.
Who is?
Colette. Having 4 in their tank, yeah, with all her coral, what she's got some stunning coral in there as well.
She's got some expensive corals.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
it's really nice.
Well,
we've got a few people from down south, Cambridgeshire, Pompey,
Scotland,
Southwest,
Liverpool, Cambridgeshire, Pompey,
all over.
Yes, Southwest.
I'm just going to do a shout out to Yorkshire Reefers. Any Yorkshire Reefers out there?
And there's no Yorkshire Reefers in at the moment.
It's all the Scottish squads here. That's what it is.
4 minutes to go, Jay.
You can't set up a reef tank. You can't set up a reef tank on a 5, so no one from Yorkshire's on it.
Yeah,
that's what it is. We've got to end in 4 minutes. Are you joking?
Oh, you know what? Time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it?
I was hoping for. I wanted a reef in lock-in.
Yeah. Well, maybe we might stay a little bit longer. Maybe 5-10 minutes. Maybe we'll see how it goes. Yeah. That's all right. That's if it's all right by you guys. You know.
Fine with me, mate.
Yeah.
Who's the furthest north? Bravo 20's put. Who's the furthest north?
That's who the toughest is, isn't it? Basically.
So I'm going to be the furthest north there. I think.
Yeah, that's Biker Ross. That definitely.
Aye. I'll take that. I'm in Falkirk, which is central Scotland. So I'm kind of furthest north, but. There's probably, I think, Bravo 20 is probably about the same kind of area as me, but he's across the west coast.
You know that big yellow
fellow Scotsman, innit?
The what, Jay? Sorry.
You know that big yellow thing in the sky, Ross?
Nah.
Never seen
Go
it.
a bit further south, you might see it.
I did see that once when I went over the border. There was a big thing in the sky, but I didn't know what it was, so I turned around and went home.
Yes, North Yorkshire, yes.
Cookies Reef is a Yorkshire guy.
Reef. Yes.
Hey, Cookies Reef.
Hopefully he's up near Whitby or somewhere like that. It's nice up there.
Yeah.
East Coast. We've got
East Coast. Reef Kings in London. Hartford.
Reef Kings down in London, yeah.
Not far from me, by the looks of it.
Cracking coral.
There we go.
I thought that was in Northwest. It says here North Yorkshire. The shot. Oh, he's risking it there. Cracking corals. He's red and white there. He's got 1 foot in the white and 1 foot in the red. Red rose and white rose.
Boys, I've been properly done. So Bravo 20 is in Dundee, which is about an hour north of me. And then Scott Morrison's Inverness, which is about 3 hours north of me, maybe 2.5 hours north of me. So Scott Morrison's winning so far.
Oh, Scott Morrison.
Oh, Whitby's ace.
Colette's in Warrington.
Yeah, I think we've got everything covered here, haven't we?
Yes. Hey, so we've got a broad spectrum of areas.
Yeah, we've got anyone from Wales? Anyone from Wales?
Oh yeah, we've not got any Wales.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, nobody from Wales.
I was going to say there's no Irish, but I think DC Reefing is Irish, but he lives in London now, I believe.
M62, massive. I used to live on the M62. He's not living in that little house in the middle of it, does he? near the Pennines. You know what?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I know the one you mean, yeah.
So do I.
Just outside Glasgow. Well, I think, yeah. Apart from the Welsh, where's the Welsh reefers?
Oh, Bravo 20. I'm not going to comment on this. The Welsh don't have any electricity to run their tanks. Hey, go and see Bravo 20. Don't come to our house. We don't take. MB Reefing just outside Glasgow.
Yeah, there's a lot of Scottish boys in here tonight.
Yes.
Boys.
Welsh preferred sheep.
There's a fair few Scottish lads up there. Fair play. Fair play.
Yeah. It's a big scene up there. You've got no shops, though. Where does anybody buy anything?
There's a couple of shops, but there's nothing spectacular.
Yeah,
they all order it online.
LFSs.
Yeah, you all order it online. Jay, Cookies Reef has put, when you're in Whitby, come and see the tank.
So my parents live in Scarborough, which is not as posh as Whitby, but it's only down the road. So next time I'm up, I'm probably going in the 6-week holidays. That's my next time off work.
There we go. Cranium Reef is from Sweden, so
yeah, Swedish cranium.
Not many from Sweden, though.
And we've got one from New York, always from New York, so that's good.
There we go. That's furthest travel award for this one.
Yeah, that's the furthest travel. Yeah.
And I think if you go up, we've got someone from Wales as well, or someone from Wales. Do they still live in Wales?
Someone.
Rigsy. I'm from Wales, but I'm not too sure if.
There we go. Neil's Reef Aquarium's cracked it, so he's sussed out why there's so many Scottish folk here, and it's because they've smelt the whiskey and just been attracted with that. That's what it is. So.
Whiskey, Ross.
They've smelt that and just decided to come flooding in.
Yeah, he started to flood in.
I know.
Are you just like, do all Scottish have bottles of whiskey and they'll just be drinking whiskey tonight? You know, is that like a racist thing to say?
I'm not going to lie, mate. I reckon I have hundreds of bottles of whiskey, not just one bottle of whiskey. So
and Scots just drink whiskey all the time.
And not all of them. Only the ones that's got hair on their chin and no hair on their head. That's the way it usually goes.
For nearly all of them.
Yeah, nearly all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got to think of Galgo, because he's stop moaning about having 1 or 2 shops to go to. It's one more than him. He's only got 1 shop, and it's not a marine shop. It's actually a freshwater shop, tropical fish shop. So, well, let's all feel sorry for Galgo. Absolutely.
That is. And they don't deliver to him either. That is pretty bad, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
I bet he's constantly going on little trips over to the mainland to come shopping.
Reef King's putting Scots are running the show. Oh, hey up. Not yet. Not yet. Oh, no. That's next week.
Yeah. I've got a long way to go before we're good at it.
So Ross, we're with you next week, aren't we, on your channel?
Yeah, so I'm going to host it on my channel, on the Bearded Reef channel next week. Hopefully everybody can join that.
I'm subscribed, Ross, so it'll tell me when I need to come on.
Thanks, mate. I wondered who my subscriber was, but it must be you. That's really nice of you.
I tend to subscribe and give you a thumbs up, but I don't know why.
I wouldn't give me a thumbs up, mate.
Mate, I love your channel. Absolutely love it.
Yeah,
thank you.
It's quality.
Yeah, it's a good channel.
A really good channel. You know, just it's really to the point. Really to the point. Good tips. I enjoy it.
Yeah,
I'm glad that the subtitles work for everybody as well, that they can understand that.
It's good. So where was yours then?
Ayla's put laughed my ass off. Paul Galgo. Wow. Yeah.
He's got quite a lot. I think he's got a really good tank canty and stuff, and he's got a load of setup. So he must have just ordered that from, I don't know, from mainland, I'm guessing. But
Harold's just put down. That I'm just reading now. He's put down, what time does the live stream start? Well, what we're doing is, Harold, we're going to be doing these every Friday. It's going to be alternating on each one of our channels. So next week, as Ross has said, it's going to be on his channel. It's going to be the same time, 8 o'clock. If any time changes, then obviously we'll post it up and let people know. But up to now, it's 8 o'clock every Friday, and it's going to be alternating on each one of our channels. So yeah, definitely get yourself there. grab yourself a tipple, and have some fun with us.
And then we're going to save the best till last for Jay the week after me.
No, honestly, I am not doing it. I'm not doing it. I can't operate it. I've seen Steve this week struggle like mad with. You get a message everybody in the chat here. Anybody in the chat who was late to work this morning because they were watching. Steve's 17-minute video that he launched at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Hey, so thanks to Steve. I was late.
Hardcore. That's hardcore.
No,
hardcore, mate.
I woke up. I was like, I'm not going to work. I'm going to watch the 17 minutes of the video, and then I really didn't want to go to work. I wanted to do my reefing, and then I was late.
That's what I done. I ended up sacrificing a parking space for it as well. I didn't get a parking space when I went this morning. So
that's sacrifice for you.
I tell you what, Ross, that's proper commitment, mate. That. Tell you, full respect to you there, pal. I appreciate it.
Hey, needs must, mate. I can't miss a video.
I always put reefing before my job.
Oh yeah.
Scott's put, can someone post links to all casters' channels, please? What does that mean?
So to put the links, that's for. I'm assuming that's for us for what our channels are.
Oh, right. So right. Yeah,
Scott,
absolutely.
Is he? Wait up. Is he? Fraggle, whatever. Frag something. I don't know if he is. Does he have his own online coral shop?
Oh,
Fraggle Reef, is that who you think it is?
Scott, do you have a shop? Comment below, mate.
I don't know if he's got that rainbow chalice. I'm going to tap him up.
If it's a jelly bean, I'm first.
Yeah. Woody's Reef is going, so thanks for joining us, Woody. Appreciate your company, mate.
Yeah,
take care.
Thanks to everyone that's joined.
Thank you.
Neil as well. Neil Smith Reefing. He said he loves the stream. Well done.
Thanks.
Appreciate that. Yeah. Like I said,
much,
it's just it's a bit of fun on a Friday evening. Yeah, if you're not doing nothing, come join us. It's we love it, don't we, guys? You know what I mean? It's just a bit of banter. See how our tanks have been going on, because a lot can happen in a week. That's for sure. So
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's but it's good. It's a bit of good fun. It's a bit of a laugh. Adam Boyle, Jay has my email. Yeah, absolutely, mate. I'll have a look, see what I've got. But I'm sure I've got some bits and bobs lying about, mate. And I'll send them on to you. No problem.
It's so nice to spend the evening with all these people. Respected reefers. We got retailers on here.
Absolutely.
People who've got. There's so much experience that's just joined us tonight.
Yeah,
it's an honour to have all these people together on a Friday night.
Absolutely.
With the beer, so yeah, I echo. It's incredible.
It is, mate. Like I said, it's Super Yellow Tang's just joined the house. He said he's been waiting for this on Instagram. Oh, he's forward.
Oh. Right. Night, everyone. That was really good, wasn't it? I really enjoyed it. Night, everyone.
Yeah, we gave away Radions and tank and everything.
We've
just missed out.
We gave away Jay's anemone as well.
But no one wanted it.
No takers. There wasn't a single bid for the NAM.
Oh God.
No.
Yeah. But he's just put a smiley face, so yeah. No, mate, we're on the YouTube platforms, we're not on the Instagram, mate. So
Bearded Reef next week.
Tune in on Ross's channel next week, mate, at 8 PM. Not on Instagram, on the YouTube channel, on Ross's channel, Bearded Reef. Yeah.
Go across now and hit the subscribe and notification bell and just sign up to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Advertise it during the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul for Reef King Super Yellow is in the house. Absolutely, mate. With 4 minutes to go.
Mate. Jay, Backshift Reefers just said the most amazing comment for you ever.
What? I like his sticker. What's he say? Is he taking the pay or something? What's he saying?
No, you'll be
Yeah, I'll
impressed,
pay
mate.
the postage. Fair enough. That's all right. How do you move? Is it the power head on its foot? Is that the one? Power head.
Just
on
give him the rock with it, Jay.
Just give him the skate. Here you go, mate. There's the skate. Pay the postage. Nice one. Cheers, backshift reef. Backshift reef.
Backshit.
That's a
Much of that John Smith's have you had, mate?
Is that a new sticker?
Channel, the other one.
There
we go.
Yeah.
That's the one.
There he is.
So how many stickers you got now, Jay?
About 10, I think.
Nice.
About 10.
Oh, Adam Boyle's raised the stakes for you, Jay. There you go.
Yeah.
I'll pay postage. Oh, you win, mate. You win. Yorkshire tea all the way. Yorkshire tea all the way, yes. He wins.
Has that got your name on it, that Jay, that cup?
Yeah.
Has it?
Have you not noticed?
I've never noticed.
All over his video.
I actually thought it was a Yorkshire tea cup. Oh no.
Well, it is, yeah. It is.
Yeah.
Jay, you need one of these cups, mate. This is the cup for
Yeah.
you.
How much is the merch?
He's on brand.
I'll send you one, no problem, mate.
Yeah. I need one.
Thank you, Ross. I'm a big fan of the channel, so yeah, send us one over.
My only fan, so I'll send you one.
Do you know what? I want to make towels. That's what I want to do because no one's doing it.
You should make doggy. You should make pee pads, Jake. That's the.
Like a little beer towel.
Aye.
Like a mini towel with your logo on. I think that'd be ace.
I think the Jay's Real Reef UK pee pads would be the one to sell. Like.
Neil's put down.
It's turned into a shopping channel.
That's the one.
Yeah. Neil's put down. He needs to get some stickers. Ross, explain to him the sticker situation.
Oh Jesus! So
it's an industry, isn't it? I can't believe when I went onto the internet how many people are sending stickers. I mean, I've got a logo now, so I'm going to get some stickers. It's unbelievable. Sorry, Ross, go on. It's just unbelievable.
No, you're all right. So basically, I joined the Instagram world and started up my channel for that, and instantly seen that everybody has stickers for their channels. So I created my logo through the help of YouTube and started getting some stickers made up. Spent a fortune on stickers, spent a fortune sending them out. I'm probably £100 into it already, maybe more than that actually. And have a wall full of people's stickers here. So actually, let me just see if I can show you this. There you go. There's a wall of some stickers already. So
yeah,
there's some of them there. So I've just stuck them on magnets because that's actually magnetic on my wall. So I've put some of them there, but yeah. So it turns out that if you've got an Instagram page, you actually have to have stickers as well now. So
towels, you see, yeah, I'm telling you, little beer mat towel tea, so you can just mop up your spills. Telling you, that's what everybody.
So there's Scott Morrison said there's still no links posted to your channels. We will put them up, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, is it the what your bearded reef?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's just wanting links to all of our channels.
Yeah, can you put the links in, Ross?
Yeah, give me 2 seconds. I'll see if I can do that, mate.
I thought you were in charge, Steve.
Pardon?
I thought you were in charge, Steve, tonight.
Yeah, but if I put it,
I think, by the way, Steve, I'm going to say it publicly. I think you did it really well. I think you've done
a
You know what, mate? I appreciate it because
you've done a good job there, mate.
It is quite difficult. It's not as easy as people make it out. You know this thing, mate. Yeah. And somebody who's not computer minded, which I hold my hands up to it. I'm not a computer person. You know, mobile phone, yeah, but not a computer. Yeah.
You got to multitask, and you got to talk, and you got to look at the chat, and then you got to stick it. You got to stick the chat on screen as well.
Exactly. It is difficult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you've done a much better job than I'd ever do. So well done, mate.
Hey, well,
we'll find out in 2 weeks, Jay.
Yeah,
mate. No, it won't even take off. I won't be able to turn it on.
Hey,
and all the comments you picked as well, they've all been really good comments. So fair play.
Yeah, done a good job.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate it.
No, thanks for hosting.
Super Yellow Tangs just put this down. I think this says it all.
Oh,
We're sat here waiting on you as well.
We like you, mate. We like you. You know what I mean?
Get your beer in the fridge for next week, 8 p.m. on Bearded Reef. Get your beers chilling.
No, Jay, there's no beers, mind. It's whiskey only.
Oh, it's only whiskey. Have we got to buy whiskey for next week? Jesus.
It's a Scottish edition, mate. You need to buy a whiskey.
Can't I have my own brew instead? It's cheaper.
I'll let you away with that.
I'll drink this and eat a battered Mars bar or whatever it is.
Aye, that'll do it, mate. I'll let you away with
that. Yeah, so let me see. Yeah, as long as your computer skills stretch to Apex, well, this is a funny. I'm good with that sort of stuff. I've got an Apex running on my system. Good with that sort of stuff, but when it comes to computers, I just lose my mind, you know, with them. It's just there's so many different, but it sends me crazy. So I tend to stay off computers. My son knows more about computers than me, and he's only 10. So yeah, it's I find it hard. You know what I mean? To what do you call it? But Reef King's just put down 9th May. Yeah. I don't know who you're talking to there. Obviously, somebody's going.
Well, good night, Reef King. Make sure you put your decks on later.
Yeah, if you're talking to us, mate, yeah, good night.
Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
There's Colette's Marine Tank said...
Reef King's channel's awesome.
There's a brilliant channel, actually. Everybody should check that one out. That's a good one.
Yeah,
which one's that? Sorry, Ross?
Reef King.
Oh, yeah, top channel. Mm-hmm. Top guy, yeah. Really good laugh, that lad. Haggis. Well, my missus went to Edinburgh. My mother went to Edinburgh, and my dad. And you know, when we came out of the lockdown, and then we went back in it. Yeah, they went in that through that middle time that little bit, and they brought me one home. And don't know about you, Ross, but I take it you love haggis, do you? But I just couldn't eat it, mate. I couldn't eat
breakfast, lunch, and dinner, mate.
Do you? Oh, mate, it's an acquired taste. That's all I'm going to say. You know what I mean? It's.
I mean, during haggis hunting season, you've got to go out and get some. But other than that, I mean, I don't.
Haggis hunting season.
You've got to go out and hunt some haggis, mate. You can't leave them there.
Yeah, Ross. Connolly's put odds on Ross wearing a kilt for his live stream next week.
Yes.
Well, hey,
Connor.
Hey, good call, good shout out that, good shout.
Kilt and whiskey.
I'll see what I can do for you.
Get the Scottish flag up.
You kilt and whiskey.
I'll try and make it as Scottish as I can for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's next Friday, 8 o'clock on the Bearded Reef.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Cool. Right, guys. So I think we've gone 2 hours and 17 minutes. So I think it's been a very good stream. You know, thanks. Like I said, thanks again for all your comments. You know, all your input on the topics we've had. It's been great. Don't know about you guys, what you think of it, but I thought it's gone pretty well.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed that tonight. Thanks to everybody that's tuned in. It's been great.
Some great comments and a lot of people. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. So, once again, guys, thanks a lot for joining us. And next week, don't forget to tune into Bearded Reef's channel, Ross's channel, on the YouTube. So, which one was the one who went on to the Super Yellow Tang? Don't go on Instagram and stay on Instagram for 2 hours, Tune over onto Ross's channel, the Bearded Reef site, and we'll see you there at 8 p.m. on Friday evening. So, once again, guys, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you there.
And everybody, don't forget to subscribe to Mogsy's channel as well, Mogsy's Aquarium. Go and drop a subscribe to that and a thumbs up on the chat.
Thanks a lot. Cheers, guys.
Cheers,
guys. Take care.